It's a beautiful night for football here in San Francisco, and as you can see, Candlestick Park is jam-packed. 61,000. They're expecting a record crowd tonight for a rematch of the NFC title game that took place some 8 months ago. That game in which the 49ers desperately came back only to lose on a 22-yard field goal. On the line for that game, a Super Bowl shot. The Redskins got it, and they went down to defeat at the hands of the Raiders 38-9. There's a lot of electricity in this stadium, but this man, you never see it registered on his face. Joe Gibbs, now in his 4th year, 44 years old, came in 1981 and has had a remarkable record. Lost his first 5 games in 1981, but since then has gone on to post a record of 36 while losing only 8. And here is Bill Walsh. Personable, bright, quick, changed the game a little bit when he came in 1979, inherited the team that had only had 1 winning season all the way back to 1972 when he arrived in 1979. Frank Gifford, along with O.J. Simpson and Don Meredith, and Joe Montana, what can you say? He's top rated in the history of the NFL, and his completion percentage makes him the most accurate quarterback in the history of this game. He does a lot of other things too. He moves around in the pocket, as does this man, Joe Theismann, last year's most valuable player in the National Football League. A different Joe Theismann this year. He's not as verbal as he has been in the past. And believe me, in the past, you could say hello and you'd get 5 minutes out of Joe Theismann. You say hello today and you're lucky to get an answer. We are set to go now. To your right, the Redskins. Mike Nelms drops at the end zone. He'll await the kick of Ray Wersching. The 49ers won their opener with 4 seconds remaining. They beat Detroit 30-27. Washington lost to Miami, dramatically to Miami. They lost 35-17, but the way they lost was kind of frightening for Redskins fans and players alike. Dan Marino with 5 touchdown passes for Don Shula's Dolphins in that win. Mike Nelms takes it to the 5-yard line, and we're underway. Nelms hurdles over the 15-yard line, out close to the 20-yard line, and tippers are going to fly here in the early going. There is so much emotion that you could feel coming up from the field as these two teams worked out. And Theismann comes onto the field. His big man, of course, will be John Riggins, the control man that he would like to control the football with tonight. And he'll have an opportunity because there are multiple injuries on this 49er football team defensively. 2 great wide receivers, Charlie Brown and Art Monk. They have been hurt somewhat at tight end. We'll get into that a little later on, but they have a veteran offensive line, a good offensive line. As you know, if you follow this team over the past few years, and if you follow pro football, you had to follow them because they have been in the last 2 Super Bowls. Riggins left. Riggins into Ronnie Lott, and Ronnie Lott was a question mark coming into the game. One of those injured 49ers we spoke of, but there is the front 3 of the 49er defense. Jeff Stover would have been at left end. He could be gone for the season. Linebackers, Buns and Ellison and Turner, they're all nursing pulled hamstrings. And at the cornerback, Mario Clark over on the left side. Eric Wright would have been there. He's gone for several weeks with the knee. Ronnie Lott, who missed much of last week's game against Detroit over in the right cornerback, has a very sore ankle. Ronnie Lott, by the way, also customarily would play the left side for the 49ers. They use him on the right side tonight to try and protect him from the run game. It's 2nd down and 10. Theismann back, gets the blitz, fires over the middle, incomplete, intended for Don Warren. And that will bring up a 3rd down and 10. Ricky Ellison defensively there for the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, I expected them to try Ronnie Lott relatively early in this game because of that ankle, it's going to be pretty tough for him to come out of a back pedal and try to cover those deep outs. One of the other reasons he's playing on the right side is because Mario Clark is going to play on the left side. They got him for the 49ers, and he has never played any position but the left side.
Clark, 9-year veteran. They just picked him up from Buffalo in the offseason. Only missed 3 starts in those 9 years. Theismann back with 3 wide receivers, 3rd and 10. Scrambling, looking for 1st down yardage. He will not get it. And the crowd rises to their feet as Theismann is stopped short of the 1st near the 28-yard line. Carlton Williamson, the strong safety up there defensively, along with Tom Holmoe. Williamson also playing with a sore knee out of Detroit last week.
Had them all covered.
McLemore drops for the 49ers, and he was a big factor in the 49ers win over Detroit last Sunday. A 55-yard return set up a Wendell Tyler touchdown. You're looking at Jeff Hayes. He does the punting for the Washington Redskins. McLemore is situated back about his own 25-yard line. Hayes a good hang time punter. Hangs up there a long time, but off the side of his foot, and that's a very poor punt. The 49ers' first possession will be out well over their own 40-yard line. Joe Montana trots out last week in that 30-27 win over Detroit, 16 of 25, a touchdown, and 188 yards. But the man can do so many things. If you rush him, he'll slip, slide out of the pocket, looking for receivers that always work back to him. Freddie Solomon and Dwight Clark, of course, back after a knee injury in our final game last year, the Dallas game. He had surgery and is back, perhaps a little tentative. We'll watch him tonight. On 1st and 10, play action. Montana dumps it to Roger Craig, the second-year fullback, and Craig has first down yardage inside Washington territory near the 45-yard line. Mel Kaufman chasing him out of bounds there. Let's take a look at the defensive unit. A veteran one, of course. Big Dave Butts anchoring that left side. The Redskins have lost their defensive left end, Todd Liebenstein. There's a bacterial infection. He is not available, and taking his spot is Charlie Mann. The linebackers, of course, Olkowitz, Kaufman, Malott. And the cornerbacks, Tony Washington and Darrell Green, really got themselves burned last week against Miami. First down and 10, Tyler in motion, and Montana's back once again. Fires it once again to Craig. Good move by Craig. Back to the inside the 40-yard line. Pickup of 7. It'll be second down and 3 as Mark Murphy made the stop.
Roger Craig was really a surprise to this team last year. They drafted him high, but he caught 48 passes last year, and he ran the ball real effectively for this team. He had over 700 yards, and they're real happy with the way he's played ball. They were a little disappointed with Earl Cooper. They moved him to tight end, and Roger Craig has filled in for him real nicely.
And a good receiver, as we have already seen. He had 48 receptions, did Roger Craig, a year ago, to go with those 700-plus yards. We have a second down and 3. Wendell Tyler.
They're around there.
Look out. Tyler turns on the speed, taken out of bounds, but not until he's inside the 20 near the 18-yard line. Darrell Green, the cornerback, coming up there to make the save. A 19-yard pickup. Wendell Tyler has really turned the run game around for the 49ers since he came a year ago.
Well, as you can see, they got to thank Russ Francis for that, because he got an excellent block on the defensive end. He turned him in. He kept all the pursuit away, and all Wendell had to do is get outside and try to outrun Darrell Green, which is virtually impossible. Darrell Green is one of the fastest men in the NFL.
I caught another one, too. You can't believe what old Freddie Solomon did. Those wide receivers don't do that. He did a heck of a job. He closed off Mel Kaufman in there, too.
Tyler in motion once again. First down and 10. The ball at the 18-yard line of the Redskins, and Russ Francis will have another first down. The big man going down. Very tough, but he has the first down around the 6-yard line. Malott and Kaufman there defensively, and the 49ers on the prowl on their very first possession.
And the reason you can sense it so easily is that nobody's getting close to Montana. They haven't been close to him on any of the pass plays. A couple of them were play action. You expect a little more time, but look right there. Plenty of time to throw.
Bad omen for the Redskins. For the first time in 20 games a week ago against Miami, they did not have a single sack nor a single interception. First down, goal to go. Montana 3 for 3 already. This is Wendell Tyler, or Roger Craig, rather.
Good running.
Yeah.
Good move. Inside the 5, down close to the 2. It'll be second down, goal to go. Second-year man out of Nebraska.
Well, thus far it seems as if the Washington Redskins are reacting relatively slow. The 49ers seem to be a tad quicker than them, and they seem to be a little more aggressive at this point.
3 tight end offense now for the 49ers. Russ Francis is in there. Earl Cooper has just come in, number 89. John Frank, the rookie from Ohio State, number 86. The run offense. Tyler is the tailback and gets the call. And he is hammered and hit hard by Malott first, and then Murphy. Short of the touchdown, it'll be third down, goal to go inside the 1-yard line.
Was that a semi-Tony Dorsett spin that time?
Yeah, semi-Tony Dorsett spin, but it's a good move by Wendell. As you'll see, he comes in, he's hit right away by the linebacker, but he's got a lot of extra effort. In the past, that has gotten him into a lot of trouble. This is normally the time when he fumbles, but this year, in the last 2 years, they've been working on him holding the ball, covering that ball up. He did that time, and Got him down to the 1-foot
He
line.
still is tops in the NFL over the past 3 years for coughing it up. One of the reasons the Rams let him go a year ago. That, of course, and Eric Dickerson. Third down, goal to go. Tyler. He gets in, second effort, and the 49ers on their very first possession from near their own 40-yard line, behind the mixing of the plays by Montana, the run, the pass, they send Tyler into the end zone. They're on the scoreboard first.
Well, Frank, we talk about extra effort, and that run was certainly an indication that Wendell's fired up. You know, as I said, he fumbles a lot, and normally it's from extra effort. Sherman Lewis, the running back coach, spliced the film together for Wendell for him to look at. That every time he fumbled, it was from extra effort, but they've worked on it, and he appears to be ready to go tonight.
Ray Wersching with Montana handling the placement. And the 49ers lead 7-0. 49ers with 10:45 in the first quarter on top of the Washington Redskins, 7-0.
If you're just looking for a small car, your choice is very large. But if you're looking for a small car with advanced front-wheel drive engineering, your choice is more limited. And if you're looking for a small car that's also very sporty and maneuverable, you'll find it reassuring to look at this one. Skyhawk, the first car to succeed at being both small and Buick at the same time.
Wouldn't you really rather have a Buick?
Hi, Claire and I are here to tell you about Wendy's Where's the Beef Monday Night Football game. A game where every week you could win a $20,000 drawing.
That's a lot of money.
Just pick up this game card with details at Wendy's. Then during each Monday night game, we'll announce the winner of the 20 grand.
Boy, that's a lot of money.
Yep, then someone out there is going to win it.
Who? That old man by the camera? What's he gonna do with 20 grand?
Play Wendy's Where's the Beef Monday Night Football game today. You could win $20,000.
Washington lost only 2 games during the 1983 regular season, both by 1 point and both on Monday Night Football.
It was 94 degrees in San Francisco on Saturday. Warm again yesterday, but as you look down at Candlestick Park, a sellout crowd on hand. You can see the fog starting to drift in. The temperature at kickoff was 68 degrees. A great night for football as we look at Mike Nelms. 49ers on top 7-0. Their very first possession. And Wersching is set to kick off. High and short by Wersching. Nelms awaits it at the 12. Nelms pops an opening. And Nelms goes down, progress out to the 34-yard line. And so many times over the past few years, he has made the key return. Let's take a look at that scoring drive. See it in animation, the run and the pass. Runs are in red, the passes in black, and that's how Joe Montana mixed up his offense moving down the field. The plays, of course, sent in by Bill Walsh, the offensive brain of the 49ers. First down and 10, the Redskins. They like to control this game, keep Riggins in it. They got out of control against Miami last week, and he was averaging over 6 yards a carry, but they had to play catch-up, and they had to take Riggins out. First and 10, Theismann hits Monk, and Monk comes down at midfield with the football and a first down inside 49 territory.
First down.
You think they know his ankle's sore?
Well, you saw him go down. That was Ronnie Lott, number 42, trying to cover Monk. Monk, he slipped. He went down. As I mentioned earlier, when you have a bad ankle like that, you can imagine if you tried to run backwards as fast as you can, stop and go forward as fast as you can, these guys are going to run a lot of turn-ins and turn-outs on Ronnie Lott here tonight.
You saw Lott slip, trying to protect that right ankle that was twisted severely against Detroit. They tried to get number 22, Dwight Hicks, in there to help him from the inside, but it's first down Washington at the 49-yard line of the 49ers. Charlie Brown in motion. Riggins over to the left side. It reverts to Monk. 49ers reading it beautifully, and Monk gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. It'll be second down and 10.
Well, Lawrence Pillars did one excellent job, number 65, on that play. He was being double-teamed. He saw the reverse immediately, and he fought outside, and he slowed up the run of Monk.
Kind of question that call because that is not bread and butter for Washington.
That's really not.
There is a weak defensive front line for the 49ers. Gone is Pete Kugler at the nose tackle. Tuiasosopo, acquired from Seattle, is in there. Stover, we already mentioned, out of the lineup. He has been replaced by Lawrence Pillars. You should be able to run straight ahead against the 49ers. Nobody does it better than the Redskins. As we watch Don Warren struggling, he'll lose yardage. A couple of yards. It's going to be third down and long, third down and about 11.
When I think about Monk running that reverse, he's carried the ball on reverses, I think 9 times. He's had minus 3 yards. But one of the things I think Joe Gibbs was thinking about on that play is going into the championship game last year, Bill Walsh thought his defense was much quicker than Washington and can beat them with pursuit and quickness. And I think they were trying to take advantage of the 49ers over pursuing by running the reverse that soon in the game.
4 down front for the pass rush for the 49ers on third down along 11. Monk goes left. Charlie Brown up at the top of your screen. Theismann has the time, steps into the pocket, hangs one up intended for Alvin Garrett, deep, incomplete. And now Washington will have to punt away. Quick note, if you have not heard, Chuck Muncie of the San Diego Chargers, who missed the plane to Seattle over this past weekend, has been traded to the Miami Dolphins for a second-round draft pick. And Miami, with a 2.7 rushing average over the past 2 games, could sorely use him. That is, if he can find the plane.
Well, if he works out his problems, whatever they might be, that's going to be a valuable acquisition for the Dolphins. I think that makes them the team to beat.
They might already be without him. Last punt for Jeff Hayes, 28 yards. This one end over end. McLemore from the 22-yard line of the dead run. A good way to get a bump on the head or get a big run back, and McLemore has run so many back. It'll be first down at 10, the 49ers. Their second possession from near their 26-yard line.
When you work a charter, your days belong to somebody else.
Welcome.
But come sundown,
The tide is running. Welcome.
your nights are all your own.
Your time's coming. Welcome to Miller Time.
And now's the time for the best beer you can find, Miller High Life.
Welcome to Miller Time. It's all yours and it's all mine. Bring your thirsty self right here. You've got the time, we've got the beer for what you have in mind. Welcome to Miller Time.
The NFC Western Division champion San Francisco 49ers. They went on to beat Detroit, and of course they lost the NFC title game, a shot at the Super Bowl in the closing moments against Washington 24-21 a year ago. Their second possession, first and 10. The ball just out over their 25-yard line. Montana is back. Good shot to Francis. He was wide open. And Francis over the 45-yard line of the 46. And Russ Francis this year playing so much better than he did a year ago. And of course he set out the previous year, retired from New England, and finally was traded to these 49ers 2 years ago.
It starts again in the middle, O.J. Nobody's getting him penetration back here. Look at it. And he throws, and there's the flipper. Francis is the flipper. He's got it right in there. They call him that because he spends a lot of time in the water. See, that's what I'm talking about.
At the 46-yard line, first down and 10, the 49ers. 7:30, and the clock is moving, remaining in the first quarter. 49ers on top, 7-0. Craig, right side. Craig this time held to a couple. And it'll be second down and 7. I want to remind you, next Saturday, live at 3:30 Eastern, right here on ABC, Oklahoma goes against Pittsburgh from Pitt Stadium. Head coach Barry Switzer leads his Oklahoma Sooners east to battle the Panthers, and a clash of 2 of the country's top teams on CFA college football right here on ABC. Next Saturday, live at 3:30 Eastern, the Sooners with a couple of fine running backs, Spencer Tillman and Earl Johnson, a couple of 1,000 yards between those two last year. Single setback is Craig. Second down and 7. Montana back. Francis again. First down at the 40-yard line for the 49ers.
They play
and again, Don, you hit it right on the head. There is no pressure on Montana.
None.
They did not have any on Marino a week ago, but Marino was taking a quick drop and getting rid of it very quickly. Montana has all the time he would ever ask for back there.
As you can see, he has all the time, and Francis just run a little, what we used to call a button hook in there. And you got to say, Russ is fired up for this game. He had 2 drops last week, 2 balls he should have caught. before the game, you saw his comments about the Redskins. I think he's really fired up here tonight.
Ronaldo Nehemiah with the great speed. The former great hurdler. Has so many world records. Number 83. He's at the top of your screen. Now he's in motion. And off the left side is Craig, and he battles again for a couple of yards. Malott there first for the Redskins, and then getting help from Kubin. Joe Montana on the sidelines, and
Joe Theismann.
Or rather, Joe Theismann. You have to really wonder what that 38-9 loss did to not only Theismann, a lot of the Redskins. They were thoroughly trounced in the Super Bowl. Second down now, long 7. Tyler, number 26, single setback. Craig is flanked to the right. Montana looking for Dwight Clark. He's covered, and he spins off and finds Russ Francis. Montana at his very best right there, trying to get deep with Dwight Clark. Clark was picked up and covered, and he switched off Don to Russ Francis.
Here's Dwight trying to run a little out and up. He was open on the out, but he had to turn it up, and he wasn't open at that point.
That's exactly right. But again, Joe had plenty of time to check that one out, come back and pick up Russ coming across the secondary receiver.
And Russ Francis makes it first down 49ers. They already lead 7-0.
That's an amazing stat right there, because we're going back to the Super Bowl. In the last 10 quarters, 101-29.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this 49ers offensive line. Ayers, Quinlan, Cross, and Farnhurst. They've been together for 6 years now. They were here. They got together when I was here back in '79, and they're an excellent offensive line. They're going to give him plenty of time.
First down and 10. The ball at the 29-yard line. Play action by Montana.
That is
wide open once again. That is Freddie Solomon, who had a 76-yard touchdown in the NFC title game 8 months ago, and he has just given the 49ers a first down and goal to go near the 7-yard line.
That is tough. Freddie's just doing a basic kind of a down and across route. You can't really cover them back there. They're trying to play a little bit some man and zone, but if you've got the time to throw, you can do it.
Well, you know what they said after the Super Bowl? They found out in the second half that the Redskins couldn't cover them.
That reference right there is the 2 flags that were dropped late in the NFC Championship game that incensed the 49er players and their fans. Montana, first down, goal to go. Nobody spins out of that pocket as well as he does, and he finds Solomon.
There is nobody.
The flag is down in the end zone.
No pressure at all.
Well, I think Russ Francis is going to be involved in it. They may have said he picked off a guy in the end zone.
That will come back. The indication by our referee, Dick Jorgensen. The preliminary indication against the 49ers, and they're bringing it back.
He may have picked somebody off, but
interference, number 81.
Yep.
Offense.
That's where you get the combination so many times between the tight end and the wide receiver. The old basketball pick play.
Well, Frank, they were deep in the end zone. You got to give Russ credit. He almost got away with it. He wasn't open, and he saw Freddie coming across with a guy trailing him, and he just stepped in the guy's way.
It remains first down, goal to go. However, the football is now back at the 17-yard line, or rather the 17. Montana, his first pressure of the night. He'll do this to you also. And then wisely steps out of bounds before the big hit at the 5-yard line, where it'll be second down, goal to go. Mark Murphy and Darrell Green both taking Montana out. And Russ Francis already 4 receptions, a major factor in the 49ers' 2 drives.
Yeah, Howard would be proud of Russ. He was always Howard's favorite tight end in the league.
He was all world there for a while. I remember that.
Well, he's playing like it tonight.
Then all universe came along. Kellen Winslow.
Yeah.
Second down, goal to go. Dwight Clark is slipped to Montana's right. That's Solomon, number 88, in motion.
That is unreal.
Wide open is Tyler.
That is unbelievable.
Flag is down again.
Tyler
strides into the end zone. We could have had linemen downfield.
I think it might have been holding, too. I don't know. No, they called it on Redskins.
Yeah, 71 for the Redskins.
Roughing passer.
And the touchdown will stand. The penalty will come on the kickoff.
Personal foul.
Charlie Mann.
Passer number 71. Defense. 6 points. 15 yards on the kickoff.
Just a quick analysis. The Redskins are going to have to get something in the form of a pass rush. That time, Montana, even though he rolled to the right, had a good 4 or 5 or 6 seconds to look for alternate receivers.
I would guess that Wendell Tyler would be about his 4th receiver on that back. He was a back that came out late out of the backfield.
Wershing to put the 49ers up 14 points. And another flag is down. We already have a penalty that will be assessed against Washington. And this time, we'll have to kick it over again. Holding indicated against the 49ers. That is kind of a rare call.
No, I see holding all the time. I just never see them call it. They hold down there all the time.
Well, if you're going to have a holding call, you should have it on the PAT.
Here's Dick Jorgensen once again.
Holding, number 67. Offense, one more try.
John McCauley, they'll back it up. The reason you don't see much of it on the conversion because it happens so quickly, there is no need for it. Take a look at it from the reverse ankle. You'll see number 67. That's McCauley.
Oh, he's out by himself. That's how we can catch. Yeah.
How about decapitation?
That's hugging. That's all. He's just hugging it.
That'll slow him down coming around.
Wershing now from the 20-yard line. Same results, and the 49ers with 3:49 remaining in the first quarter lead 14-0. Now look how much time he had.
He's already had about 5-6 seconds at this point.
That was the frustration that you saw right there. Charlie Mann, the 71. That was the penalty because he hit Montana after he threw the ball.
Would not want to encourage it, but it's what the Redskins are going to have to do. They're going to have to toughen up, but they are in deep trouble for the second week in a row.
In creating the Buick Century, we also created something of a paradox. With its sleek aerodynamics and front-wheel drive technology, the Century is a very nimble road car indeed. But because it's a Buick, the Century doesn't let the feel of the road interfere with your comfort and tranquility. The Buick Century, technology that makes you feel good inside.
Do you have anything in aviation?
The Army's most technical training.
Are there any openings in communications?
Is also the Army's most popular training.
I'd really like computers.
So it pays to have a reservation.
Electronics.
If you qualify, you can get a guaranteed reservation for the training you want up to 12 months in advance, even if you're still in high school.
All that you can be.
We'll see you after graduation.
You can do it
great.
In the army.
Thank you. Congratulations.
David Burney and Morgan Brittany with you for the premiere of Glitter this Thursday.
Looking at our booth from across the field. That's how we line up. Man in the middle. He loves the middle. Used to play for these 49ers back in 78 and 79. Was here when Bill Walsh came from Stanford University. The penalty, of course, assessed on the kickoff, so Wershing will hit it from the 50. And Nelms will have little or no possibility to make the return.
That may be a record for Ray Wershing. I've never seen him kick one out of the end zone before.
Let's take a look at the scoring drive, and once again, on their second possession, the 49ers took it in.
It's so methodical, too, when you think of it. The runs are in red and the passes are in black. They start off throwing. Ran for that first, throw again, ran for the first, throw. There they go.
Penalty, and 14-0. 3:45 remaining in the first.
She's gonna love you. Sit up. This is it. Shh. Ta-da! Shh. Ta-da! The NCR PC4.
Splendid graphics.
Surprised? Shh. Runs all the top software. Surprised?
It's what you'd expect from NCR. NCR is one of the largest computer companies in the world.
It even has a program that teaches you how to use the computer. Now you're surprised.
Shh. Boy, is she tough.
Look, an easy-to-use keyboard. It networks with other computers, even mainframes. This'll get her. It'll store your whole card file index.
Really? I'm surprised.
She's surprised.
I'll take one.
Shh. I'll take one, too.
You got it.
Make that 3.
That's wonderful.
Yes, I would love to have one.
A better computer. It's exactly what you'd expect from NCR.
The Redskins in regular season last year, 14-2. The 2 games they lost, Dallas and Green Bay, we called both of them. They lost by 1 point before being blown away in Super Bowl 18. But they are struggling here tonight. They are not a comeback team, and they are down 14-0. Riggins, left side. They like to use Riggins to control the ball game. And against Miami, they got themselves out of the type of football game they want to play, and that is to keep the football.
And they were doing a good job against Miami. Riggins was averaging 6.5 yards a carry. The 49ers came into this game. They say it was imperative that they got in front early to get Washington out of that running game because they have so many guys beat up on their defense. They didn't want to have to play against a physical running game. They want Washington to throw the football.
Alvin Garrett in along with Art Monk, Charlie Brown on 2nd down and 9, the 3 wide receivers. Riggins, left side, and he just bowled right over Keena Turner and gets out over the 25-yard line, close to the 26, but it will be a 3rd down and 4, and we should see Joe Washington come in. Riggins will go out. Washington, of course, the nifty receiver coming out of the backfield. Just kind of squirts out of there.
You know, one thing Washington might think about, if they run, hold the ball a little bit longer, San Francisco won't get it.
There is the shift. Monk up into the slot. Joe Washington, the single setback, number 25.
Oh, Monk.
The blitz is on, and it was in the hands and out of the hands of Monk. It would have been a 1st down, but now Washington will have to punt away, and they are confronting a red-hot offensive unit of the 49ers.
Joe threw that one before Monk turned around. He was wide open, quick. Could have hit him over his left shoulder, but the route called for him to go down and stop, turn out to the outside, and the ball was there a little too fast for him.
Dana McLemore is back, standing short near his own 33-yard line. Jeff Hayes now with one kick of 28 yards, the other one not much better. Swirling winds here at Candlestick Park. However, they have calmed down considerably from kickoff. This time, Jeff Hayes connects. Takes McLemore back inside the 30 where he indicates the fair catch at the 29-yard line. 46-yard effort this time by Jeff Hayes as he puts the foot to it. And we'll be back at Candlestick Park right after this message.
Introducing a telephone as remarkable as it is reliable. Telephones from General Electric, engineered for years of dependable performance, with sophisticated features like 9-number memory, one-touch redial, and emergency dialing. Backed with a full 2-year warranty and GE Answer Center service 24 hours a day. GE Telephones, the quality rings true.
GE, we bring good things to life. Welcome.
They said he couldn't retrieve his own shadow, but you didn't give up on him. Now comes your time.
To Miller Time.
And Miller Time means it's time for the best beer you can find. Miller High Life.
Bring your thirsty self right here. The rich, smooth taste of Miller beer is what you have in mind.
Welcome to Miller High Life.
Welcome to Miller Time.
On CFA College Football, Coach Barry Switzer takes a determined Oklahoma squad east to battle the high-powered Pitt Panthers. Saturday live at 3:30 Eastern on ABC.
On 14-0, 1st and 10, the 49ers at the 29-yard line. The Redskins ordinarily tough on the road during the regular season. They have won 4 in a row, and they have won 13 of the last 14 regular season games on the road. But they're in trouble here. Montana senses the pressure and fires it out of bounds, incomplete, and it will be 2nd down and 10.
So I'm trying to bring a little extra help to get a little more pressure on Montana. That time came with a delayed blitz by Mel Kaufman, linebacker.
John, it's almost a cliche when they talk about Joe Montana being able to elude the pass rush, but he does it about as good as anyone I've ever seen.
That right there is a very telling story, which you alluded to earlier, too, last week. No interceptions and no sacks, and really not a great deal of pressure on Marino, and we haven't seen that tonight, so that might be the real key.
2nd down and 10. Tyler and Craig, the setbacks. Craig 33, Tyler 26. Montana again, a lot of time, and this time Craig was turning upfield before he had his hands on the football. It'll be 3rd down and 10. An opportunity now for the Redskins. They'll hustle in their prevent defense. And Joe Montana, well aware through films during the course of the week as to what that will be.
Joe Montana is normally pretty good against on 3rd and long. I think last year they had 3rd and 15 or more about 30 times, and he converted it about 14 times.
That is an amazing stat, by the way. That's all 40-something% of the time on 3rd and long. That's really big.
They're down and 10, the 49ers, from their own 29. Montana this time, pressure. But he gets it off, and it's complete. Freddie Solomon, first down out at the 47-yard line. Again, Montana pulling it down and then popping up with the ball and seeing Solomon for the first down.
As we look at the defensive secondary here.
Straight zone. They bring in Monty Coleman, a linebacker who drops into that.
He turned Green around, Darrell Green, number 28, trying to cover Freddie Solomon, and once again he falls down, but Solomon was open anyway.
Natural turf here at Candlestick Park, and of course the diamond configuration. The Giants are still playing baseball here. At the 47-yard line, Craig, right side, gets a block out front, and Craig close to the 45-yard line before he goes down. Good block by Russ Francis out in front. Andre Craig, and they really found a pair of running backs last year. They got Craig in the 2nd round. They traded for Wendell Tyler. When the Rams got Eric Dickerson, they were ready to let Tyler go. He had the fumble problem. And they put Craig and Tyler together. Tyler, 856 yards last year, and Craig, as already mentioned, 725. So they went from almost nothing, rushing at 82, to a good running attack. Did the 49ers. This is Tyler. Nobody does it better when he's on. He is a glider, great cutback, good movements. Wendell Tyler to the 32-yard line, first down, 49ers. Tony Peters had to make the stop.
Look at Tyler. He did a good job once he broke into the secondary. When it came time to get hit, he put that ball away. Now let's watch him. It's sort of well, actually it's a draw play. With
Good
a
job by Quillen against Okowitz.
Oh, he did. That's the offensive center, number 56.
Now you see him put that ball away. Now that's something he hasn't done in the past.
That will be the final play of the first quarter. And do they love it here at a sold-out Candlestick Park? You better believe it. The Redskins are in deep trouble. We'll be back in just a moment.
The Australian outback, where a weathered American sedan probes the endless heat and dust. It is an engineering test mule, the forerunner of a new American luxury car, the new Buick Electra, punished and proven in the farthest corners of the globe until it was ready for the ultimate test. This is the new Buick Electra with front-wheel drive and luxury for 6. We put it to the test. Now it's your turn. Wouldn't you really rather have a Buick?
Mr. Oakner, time for your conference call.
Get me Jackson and Peoria and find Bromley.
Today, small businesses need phone systems that do more than handle calls. So ITT created System 3100.
Where's Bromley?
His calls were forwarded. I'll page him.
The ITT System 3100 is a digital communication system that can do big things for small business, even handle data.
Mr. Oakner, it's the boss.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear. No, dear.
Do you use a gasoline with the unique cleansing additive all 4 U.S. automakers use for their EPA 50,000-mile test? For every gasoline except one, the answer has to be no. For Chevron, it's yes. For years, not just one U.S. automaker, not 2, not 3, but all 4 have chosen Chevron gasoline with its patented deposit control additive. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 U.S. automakers. The only gasoline they choose for their EPA test is Chevron. Chevron says yes.
Playing as they did in the final quarter of the NFC Championship game, a game in which they lost 24-21 to the Redskins, but they were down 21 points in that fourth quarter. They exploded offensively, and they're picking up where they left off. Craig on the receiving end of Montana's pass.
Oh, what a move.
Okowitz misses the tackle in the open field, and Craig now inside the 15 to the 14-yard line.
Oh, that's fun to flip one out there right about the line of scrimmage and let this cat take it for about 30 on you.
You take a look at it in super slow-mo. We go back to that Super Bowl last year. I mean, the championship game last year when both Montana and Bill Walsh said that they found out they were quick, they can out-quick them, and that they couldn't cover them.
No pursuit there. None at all. Okowitz was out there all by himself, and the next nearest man to him was Dexter Manley. Okowitz has got to have help on a running back. First down and 10. Montana.
Oh!
Dwight Clark just off his fingertips.
D. White.
Now that's a pass Dwight in the past would have never dropped. You know, he had a knee injury last year, and I don't think he's come totally back. He may be strong, but it takes about a year and a half before you come back from a knee injury. And as you can see, that's a pass that Dwight Clark would have caught last year this time.
He had the speedster, Darrell Green, beat to the inside. Montana had it in perfect position. As O.J. mentioned, Dwight Clark in our Dallas game. As a matter of fact, our final game last year of the season, hurt his knee, required ligament surgery, and I agree totally. It does take a while to come back, particularly if you play the skill spot. Wide receiver, running back.
But he doesn't catch it with his knee.
You have to get there.
Oh.
Got to feel good about being there.
Second and 10. The blitz is on. The Redskins trying to get some rush. Oh. And a flag goes down. Carl Monroe was the intended receiver. Mel Kaufman was there defensively for the Redskins.
I tell you, it's almost impossible for Mel Kaufman to cover a little man like Carl Monroe. He's only 166 pounds. He's a tough kid, though. He ran, as you can see, it is a penalty. He's a tough little guy. He's only 5'8", 166 pounds as we look at Joe Gibbs on the sidelines, and he can't be happy with this.
Twice in a row now, the Redskins have been covering backs out of the backfield with linebackers.
Illegal contact, number 55, defense, first down.
And it is Mel Kaufman. A tough job, though, to ask him to cover a speedster like Monroe out of the backfield.
Might as well go ahead and give credit to quarterbacks again, because, of course, that's his job. You see, he picks out the ones that are, you know, like, remember the big, your best big man on their little man, that one.
He's only 10 of 13 for 131 yards, Montana, thus far. Piece of cake thus far for Joe Montana. Tyler, inside the 5 on the first down call. Taken by Mark Murphy. It'll be second down, goal to go. Hey, if this gets to be 21.
Yeah.
There's going to be some head shaking on that Washington bench.
It is awfully hard for them to think about coming back from 20 points down, because they have relied, as everybody basically knows, on Riggins for so much.
Second down, goal to go. Tyler and Craig, the setbacks. Tyler, this time, the Redskins front 4 holds Tyler to about a yard. It'll be third down and goal to go. Let's take a look at the first quarter numbers. It was totally dominated by the 49ers. Their first 2 possessions they went in.
1 first down.
And the passing yardage, 114 to 15. The total yards, 178 to 30. Time of possession, almost double.
My gosh. I knew it was bad. I didn't know it was that bad.
And it might get worse. Play action, Montana.
It just did.
And
Tony
this
Green.
time, good defense by Darrell Green against Earl Cooper. Darrell Green, a first-round draft pick out of Texas A&I. He's very short, 5'8", but he has a vertical leap that's incredible. And we'll see the field goal unit.
Well, he has to have an incredible vertical leap.
That's right.
If he's going to cover Dwight Clark or Mike White, 2 guys who are 6'4". Here's Cooper.
This is the former running back O.J. spoke of a moment ago.
Out of Rice.
Good move by Darrell Green. He almost came up with the interception. Wersching, one of the fine kickers in football, hit a career-high 53-yarder against Detroit last week, and he drills it through the uprights. 19-yard field goal by Wersching. And the 49ers continue to roll. They lead 17-0. We're in the second quarter.
Welcome to Miller time.
At Miller High Life, time is everything. Beer drinkers come to us because we've been brewing in extra quality for the last 129 years. That's a lot of our time. But it's the reason you spend your time with us when you want the best beer you can find. Miller High Life.
Welcome to Miller time.
Buy my computer.
Hey, buy my computer.
No, buy my computer. There's one way to cut through today's computer clutter. Compare other business computers with Radio Shack's Tandy TRS-80 Model 2000. Judge the ease of operation, speed, graphics, software, and price. Compare. I believe your informed buying decision will be the Tandy 2000 personal computer.
See it during September at $300 off. We invite comparison.
In a special Sunday night matchup, the Denver Broncos blasted out with the Cleveland Browns. And next Monday night, Golden Arm Dan Marino leads the Miami scoring machine into battle against Joe Ferguson and the Buffalo Bills. 2 power-packed primetime games only on ABC Sports.
The Goodyear blimp Columbia soaring around. Our cameraman Charlie Mitchell operating a Westcam. That's an experimental camera that is worked by remote control and hangs down from the blimp. And as you can see, good shot of Candlestick Park on a great night for football, and not necessarily a great night for the Redskins, as Mike Nelms is back at the goal line awaiting the kick of Ray Wershing. High kick. Nelms from the 2. And Nelms very tentative into that wedge, and he gets only to the 17-yard line. There's a camera we spoke of a moment ago. All kinds of new innovations. That's the little round one. Well, that's the wheel, but right in front of the wheel is the camera.
Now to kick the kickoff. And you know a lot of things, Shake.
All I have to do is listen.
Now you read a lot.
They have marked it inside the 19-yard line. Riggin, single setback.
It might be important to do something this time, Skins.
Heisman, Riggins, it's a block, breaks back inside of it. And down he goes out near the line of scrimmage. Keena Turner, one of the quickest linebackers you're going to find, was out there defensively.
You know, I'm looking at Theismann, and he doesn't have that spirit. You know, one of the reasons he's, I guess, a little less than enthralled by all the players around the league, they aren't big fans of Joe's, because when he's got you down, he's clapping, he's screaming, he's doing things like that. Well, now that he's down, he should be doing that, trying to psych this team up and get it moving.
Is that Theismann or Riggins you're talking about?
That's Theismann I'm speaking of.
Yeah.
Second down and 10. Walker in motion. Riggins tries the middle. Nothing happening there.
I tell you, this Redskins team is flat. I don't see anyone out there trying to get them going right now. I mean,
and Butts is a little upset too,
on the defense. But right now, this is the time that someone should take leadership. This is when Theismann should be trying to get these guys going. Should be clapping his hands and doing those things. Whereas we have an injured 49er on the field, as we say, they can't afford it because they have enough injuries already.
Indeed they do. We mentioned they lost Jeff Stover, the defensive left end, last week, perhaps for the season. This is Lawrence Pillard, his replacement. Keep in mind that Fred Dean is a holdout. He's their designated pass rusher. He's not here.
Tonight, a pair of ex-Notre Dame quarterbacks go head-to-head as Old Spice Aftershave and Cologne present NFL Classics.
All you gotta do is smell the morning splash on Old Spice. Now you're moving, isn't it nice? Up and at 'em, don't think twice. Pour out a handful, splash on some spice.
Nobody sends more guys out there alive and awake than unmistakably masculine Old Spice.
Now you're moving, don't think twice. Splash on the feeling, splash on some spice.
When Joe Theismann and company went up 21-0 late third quarter in last year's NFC title game, it looked like a rout. Then San Francisco's Joe Montana began one of his famous rallies. In less than 8 minutes, 3 dramatic fourth quarter touchdowns brought the 49ers even. But Mark Mosley's pressure field goal sent Washington to back-to-back Super Bowls.
Jim Lampley in our New York studio. We wanted to take 10 seconds to bring you up to date on an announcement in Philadelphia tonight by Heisman Trophy running back Mike Rozier that he does not wish to return and, quote, will not return to the USFL's Pittsburgh Maulers for another season. Hard to see what this does for Rozier. Still no contract with the Houston Oilers and no agreement to buy out his contract in Pittsburgh, where the team wants him to pay back his whole salary for this year. Back to Frank Gifford in San Francisco.
And as we look at a shaken Lawrence Pillars, we'll remind you at halftime, Jim will be talking highlights with you. Also interviewing 3 of our Olympic finalists, Mark Breland, Pernell Whitaker, Evander Holyfield, all great champions from the Olympics, and they'll be having something important to talk about at halftime. 3rd down and 9 for the Redskins. They're down 17-0 and struggling. Theismann on the rollout. Theismann loses the handle, and when it goes bad, it really goes bad.
Something's wrong, you're right. Oh, bless his heart.
He gets the recovery, but we will see the punting unit. He was really shaken up, too. He was really hit. Oh, he's wobbly.
Yeah, he looks like he wants to run to the 49er sideline. They've turned him around now, but...
Go to a neutral corner, Joe. One of the bad things that happened here on a rollout, you have a lot of time, and nevertheless, Theismann could not find a receiver. They were well covered. This time he just bounces it off his knee. He covers up on it, and he took a shot.
Well, he saw where the first down marker was, and he saw about 3 49ers coming after him.
There is McLemore. Now he's up at his own 35-yard line. Hayes to punt, and the 49ers should get the ball back in good field position. Not a good kick again by Hayes. And it won't take that artificial surface bounce for you. The 49ers will get it back at their own 38-yard line. 36-yard punt by Hayes. We have 11:14 remaining in the half, and the 49ers are coming onto the field with the offense.
This is today's Chevrolet.
This Celebrity Eurosport has it all.
Well, Sarah, Eurosport's got what it takes to handle a road like this.
Nice ride.
Special F41 sport suspension and available high-output V6.
Built for touring.
Front drive.
Room and comfort.
Rack and pinion power steering.
And this is a beautiful drive.
It sure is.
Eurosport, a celebrity that's got it all.
Well, that's today's Chevrolet.
Yeah.
Welcome
You've turned the city over to the next shift. The rest of the night is yours.
to Miller Time.
Now comes your time with the best beer you can find, Miller High Life.
Bring your thirsty self right here. You've got the time, we've got the beer for what you have in mind. Welcome to Miller Time.
Wednesday, this pretty face carries a pretty steep price for the fall guy.
Joe Theismann rolling out, took a tremendous shot. He was dazed. He started to go to the 49er bench. They had to spin him around, and now they are working on him. If he cannot come back into the game, they're working on the left side. We'll see this then. Jim Hart, 18 years with the St. Louis Cardinals.
The veteran's veteran.
Known for over 34,000 yards. One of the highest put-togethers of all time in the league. And he looked good in preseason. We saw him against New Orleans. Threw the ball crisply.
Their main problem is they got to stop the 49ers offense.
First down and 10, 49ers. Their own 38-yard line. Play action again. Montana once more. And this time, checking out of the pocket. Freddie Solomon had run a deep pattern, but very wisely when he saw Montana in trouble, came back to give Montana the angle.
They called the old knockout punch right there.
Yeah.
They're going to try to hit him big with those deep ones, and he went back, and they had the deep ones covered. That's right, Joe. So he says, okay.
Yeah, they were looking for Dwight Clark on that, but Murphy came over to help Anthony Washington. So you got to find that alternative, and Bill Walsh's passing offense, there's always an alternative.
Carl Monroe comes in. Wendell Tyler out. Monroe, number 32, second-year man out of Utah. Little man, 5'8", 166 pounds, but he's tough. Montana rolling again. This time he gets hit as he hangs one up. And this time Mark Murphy could not quite get to it, but Montana was really banged to the infield part of the diamond here, and that is hard.
Had Monty Coleman and Mel Coughlin, both linebackers, come in, and they got to do something over there because they haven't been able to stop them with just the 4 guys up front, so they're going to throw everything, as they say, with the old proverbial kitchen sink. Joe got hit, obviously, in the head.
He may have got a cut up there, and there's very little you can do to protect it. He has to put that helmet back on. One thing that Joe Montana did on that, he saw the blitz right away. That's what a good quarterback will do. And I don't think the play was designed for him to roll to his left, but he saw the blitz right away, and he tried to run away from the pressure.
Montana now has missed on his last 4 passes, and the pressure is starting to be applied to the Redskins. 3rd down and 10. They come with the blitz again. All linebackers, and Montana gets hit again and has to throw it away. And this is what The Redskins really needed to pull together. Pressure on this man because he'll pick you apart if you don't.
That's big Tony McGee who came in there from the inside. They're doing the little mixing it up.
He started at defensive left end. Tony McGee came down the line, moved in behind Butts, and got a straight shot at Montana.
They stopped him.
Tom Orris will provide the 49ers' first punt of the night. Mike Nelms is dropped back, along with Alvin Garrett. Double safety now for the Washington Redskins. Orris off the side of his foot in front of Nelms, and Nelms fields it at the 22. Gets to the 25, then he is hammered. But the Redskins defense coming to the surface a little bit on that offensive attempt by the 49ers. And they get the football back at their own 26-yard line. 10:42 remaining in the first half. San Francisco 17.
At Wang, we make computers that not only enhance individual performance, but work in harmony with one another and compatibly with our competitors to bring out the brilliance in all. Wang, we put people in front of computers.
Joe Theismann will stay in the game. We saw them working on what appeared to be a cut on the left side of his head under his helmet. How you get that, I don't know, other than some of the webbing perhaps was a little rough. Either that, it was one of the great hits of all time. First down and 10. The Redskins would like to get something happening. They're at their own 26-yard line.
Look out.
Theismann goes down. This is Milt McCall, the linebacker on the blitz.
That had to be like a defensive reaction. When the linebacker is sitting there, I know some defenses, they give them the freeway, or the leeway. If nobody's there to block you, go after that quarterback. And Monk was coming back in from his wide position on a motion, didn't get back in time to block.
It's quite a family, those McCalls. His father was an All-American receiver years ago at Stanford. His brother was an All-American defensive end, Duncan. And now here is Milt McCall, an academic All-American, studying medicine at Stanford, gets the sack on Theismann. Second down and long yardage. Louis Kelcher is in at nose tackle for the 49ers. Out of the backfield, Washington.
Good hustle.
Washington is hammered by Jeff Fuller.
Well, you got to give this 49er defense credit. They have all kind of adversity they have had to overcome for this game. They lost Eric Wright. Here's the guy who led the team in interceptions. Of course, Fred Dean, the guy who led the team in sacks, is in here. And most of the guys on the field have some kind of injury. But, you know, a great team will psych themselves up. You know, they get a situation like this. They were in the championship game last year. I think they're just psyched up. And they're playing a perfect game, near perfect game right now.
Third down and 12. The Redskins. Monk in motion. The blitz is on, and Theismann gets single coverage. Oh, and trying to get to Alvin Garrett. Good defensive play. The free safety, Dwight Hicks, had drifted over there. In the blitz situation, he was man for man. He made a fine play of a ball, quite frankly, that was underthrown. So, Washington will have to punt. Good pickup on the blitz on this occasion.
He just tried to strong arm it. You see Garrett's got it there, and there's a slight little slowdown, so it was about a step underthrown. Almost tipped it, but Garrett couldn't hold his feet either.
Jeff Hayes is being worked tonight, the punter for the Redskins. He's out there again. McLemore is at the 49 at 35-yard line. Hayes doesn't turn it over. Shortens the distance, and this is McLemore. Berry, but not until he gets to the 45-yard line. The 49ers once again in good field position on a 36-yard effort by Jeff Hayes. 9:51 remaining in the first half. The Redskins need to get something happening.
Arnold Palmer announces Pennzoil's Clean Deal Sale.
Now's the time to load up on all the Pennzoil quality and protection you can handle. Pennzoil makes it easy, with prices too good to pass up, and no gimmicks. All you have to do is watch for the ad from your favorite store that's featuring Pennzoil at special deal prices. It's Pennzoil's Clean Deal Sale. Take us up on it.
Couple of golds and a bronze there. Holyfield probably should have had the gold. They have an announcement coming your way at halftime. Of course, we'll have highlights with Jim Lampley from New York at halftime. The third-ranked offense in the NFL, the Washington Redskins from last year, has one first down thus far tonight, and they're down 17-0 to 49ers. First and 10 at their own 45-yard line. The Redskins showing blitz, and they bring it. And Tyler, and a flag is down as Tyler sprints to a first down inside the 45-yard line. But a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. And this time the 49ers will move back.
I tell you, Bob Euchre again. Bob's everywhere.
He had a bad night. Look at those eyeballs.
Yeah, he stayed up too late, Bob.
San Francisco will do that to you.
Illegal use of the hands, number 88, offense, still first down.
Well, they had Freddie Solomon go into motion coming back into the line of scrimmage. He went and he had to crack back block. He had to block relatively high on a guy, and a guy Fred's size. They don't like blocking those linebackers up high.
So a first down inside the 45-yard line is turned into a first down and 20 back at the 49ers 35-yard line.
49ers are doing a great job of getting outside on the run, though.
Solomon in motion once again. Wendell Tyler tries the right side, and Wendell Tyler goes down. Sliding out there is Larry Kubin, who's in there at middle linebacker now, as they continue to work on Joe Theismann on the sidelines. We're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
KGO-TV, Channel 7, San Francisco.
Back at Candlestick Park in a game that's been totally dominated by the San Francisco 49ers thus far. Frank Gifford along with O.J. Simpson and Don Meredith. 49ers on top 17-0. They scored a touchdown each time they had possession, the first two possessions. And Wershing has added 3 with a 19-yard field goal. The Redskins have generated only one first down. Second down and 17. Earl Cooper pulls ahead for the first down inside the 45-yard line.
That was really a beautifully executed play. That was a very, very delayed sort of one-man or no-man screen. It looked like Joe did a good job of setting that thing up.
Yeah, he may have, or he may have just been ran out of the pocket. One thing Joe does, he finds that second and third receiver probably as well as anybody who's ever played this game. And as I said earlier, Bill Walsh's offensive game plan and his passing game, rather, it's a passing game that says there's always someone open. All you have to do is find them.
First down and 10. They have marked it close to the 43-yard line.
Boy, look at that.
Very graphic.
I like graphics best.
Montana gets with the quick arm out to Russ Francis, his 5th reception of the night, but he was held to about a 3-yard pickup as Tony Peters was up there very quickly from the strong safety.
Peters gave him a little shot to the face there.
They're just trying to keep him out of the blitz. That's what hurt 49ers offense, the only thing it has. So
get an idea, too, Don, of the presence of Joe Montana. They were flooding backs to the right. Redskins blitzed with their right side. No one to pick them up. He knew that he had to get rid of it very quickly, and he did. He's now 12 of 19, 156 yards, 1 touchdown. Second and 7. Tyler at the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down and 7. Charlie Mann in there, the defensive end. Number 71 made the stop. Again, I'll remind you, Redskins fans, that Todd Lieberstein is not here. A bacterial infection. He's lost a tremendous amount of weight, so we are watching Charlie Mann perform, and they don't mind having him in there.
Well, Frank, I tell you, they were picking on Charlie Mann a little earlier, and what the Washington Redskins have done is shifted their defense, trying to force him to run to the left instead of Charlie Mann's side on the right. Charlie's not in there right now.
Third down and 7. Montana wide open. Mike Wilson, who scored a pair of touchdowns in the fourth quarter of the 49ers comeback last year in the NFC Championship game, will give the 49ers another first down.
Darrell Green's out there all by himself. You see the blitz coming, but he didn't get there in time. Joe throws a very good ball right here. This was thrown right before he made his break, right where you want it. Right, Mike?
Hey, Darrell Green, with all his quickness, could have been closer on that one.
Well, we saw him in one of his first games get picked on like Ernie Terrell got picked on by Muhammad Ali last year, but he came on and had a great season of the playoffs.
First down and 10. The Redskins slide into an odd configuration, defensive line. Cool. And Montana tried to squeeze it into Earl Cooper. Good coverage by the Redskins. It's our super slow-mo camera that you saw during the coverage of the Olympics. We used it so much in the gymnastics and again in diving, rowing. It's a marvelous piece of apparatus, and it looks just like any other ordinary camera. But the technology is vastly different. Second down and 10. Ball at the 26-yard line of the Redskins. 6:43 remaining in the half. 49ers driving once again. That's Dwight Clark up at the top of your screen. Mike Wilson is split to the left. This is Roger Craig.
Nice.
Good tackle by Malott.
There you go.
That'll bring up third down along. There's a loss of a couple.
That's the Manley.
Some of the baseball action going on around in the 8th inning. Baltimore over Detroit 3-1. New York and Toronto. They're in the 9th inning. And Milwaukee and Boston in the 7th inning with Milwaukee on top 6-4. In the American League, and that's where the action is in baseball. If Minnesota can win this one tonight and they lead 2-0 in the 5th, they'll be tied for first place. National League Final, Chicago rolling along closer and closer. More National League action, and we'll keep you up to date on all of those games as they develop. Third down and 12. Tyler is in motion. Montana out of the pocket. He can take this one a long way. He close to the line of scrimmage as he tries to get out of the grasp of Tony McGee. It'll bring up fourth down.
Well, that's a good omen. That's twice in a row they've stopped him without scoring. They scored the first 3 times they had the ball.
Well, it's debatable if they stopped him from scoring this time when you see Ray Wershing coming on the field.
And last week, O.J., Ray Wershing had an individual high, a career high, if you will. He's been around a little while. He hit one from 53 yards, but that was off the artificial surface. He will have a wind swirling behind him, helping him here.
I love his nickname, Mo. It's a Mo Sheen, like Wershing Mo Sheen, but
46-yard attempt. Montana is the holder. You betcha.
That's why they love him.
Yeah, Mo. La Mo.
Mo gets Mo. And the 49ers are now on top, 20-0, 5:46 remaining in the first half.
First, someone gets an idea. Then someone else may look at it differently. Even add a thought or two. Technology from a company called TRW helps ideas get around. Because getting an idea from one place to another is as important as getting an idea. Tomorrow is taking shape at a company called TRW.
I started delivering beer in 1893, at the time Milwaukee was teaching America how to really brew a quality beer. Well, guess what? Times haven't changed all that much. This is today's Milwaukee's best, with a smooth old-time taste, old-time quality, and a real fair old-time price. Milwaukee's best. It's one of the best deals I've seen around here since 1893.
Introducing Milwaukee's best. Old-time quality at an old-time price.
We've never been able to show you this without it going out of focus, but with the super slow-mo we can. This is what the hands of the holder does. He tilts it just a little bit for Wershing, and notice he does not take that finger away.
And keeps that lace pointed, hopefully, toward the old goalpost.
Was that a Don Meredith autographed football? I thought I saw your signature there.
It could have been. It's either mine or Pete Rozell's.
San Francisco has scored 4 out of the 5 times they've had the football. And he is enjoying the action. Wershing to kick off. Nelms is deep for Washington. Wershing hangs it high to the 5-yard line.
Oh, wow.
And Nelms struggling out over the 20 near the 24-yard line. And the Redskins will trot their offensive unit back onto the field, and it has to be a bewildered offensive unit. They've been able to get nothing going.
You know, when you look at kickoffs, that's when you can tell the emotion of the two teams, and you normally tell which team has more players on the ground? And I just watched that kickoff, and the 49ers were tagging Redskins, and they were about 3-1 Redskins on the ground to 49ers.
You could sense it when we came out here and watched the workout. The 49ers jumping up and down, a lot of enthusiasm. And a little revenge for the NFC title game of 8 months ago. Heisman stays in on 1st and 10, rolls left. Fires a shot, and it's complete.
Their second first down of the night.
Art Monk out to the 39-yard line for the first down, a 15-yard pickup.
First down.
Saturday, live at 3:30 Eastern Time, Oklahoma and Pittsburgh from Pitt Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Sooners have a couple of really good running backs, Spencer Tillman and Earl Johnson. Between them, they had over 2,000 yards last year. Pittsburgh has a fine quarterback in John Kanjami, and they have a great lineman in Bill Fraley. He's a little different, but he certainly is a great one. Looking forward to perhaps an Outland Trophy year. On 1st and 10, Theismann throwing short, gets to Rick Walker for a gain of about 6 to the 45-yard line.
He says he didn't catch it.
Oh, they said he trapped that ball.
Well, the play before, they did a little rollout to the weak side, and they threw at Ronnie Lott. Now, I thought they would be throwing more passes to Ronnie's side. As I said, he has that bad ankle, and I would think that they would try to throw the ball in front of Ronnie a lot.
San Francisco over Washington 20-0. 5:20 remaining in the half. 2nd down and 10. Alvin Garrett, 3 wide receivers for the Redskins. Garrett in with Brown and Art Monk. 49ers full blitz, and Theismann collects the brunt of it. Down he goes. This time sloppy pickup on the part of the Redskins.
Nobody was there, and he didn't have a quick receiver to hit in case there was one, that particular pass route.
That's Milt McCall. Watch number 53, Don.
Well, there again, see, he chucks that wide receiver. Actually, it's Don Warren. Nobody's back there. He's going to go for that quarterback. That's good heads-up play by McCall.
Oh, you know, did you play with his dad or against his dad, Bill McCall?
They played in the college all-star game together. He's a doctor now, and that young man, Milt McCall, is studying to become a doctor.
Stanford University.
3rd down and a whole bunch for Joe Theismann. This time he keeps a few folks in to block. Not on a 3rd and 14, Joe. To the 43-yard line where it'll be 4th down.
Well, he had no chance. He was rolling out trying to hit Art Monk on a comeback, and Art was double-teamed, and he had no choice but to try to run the ball. And this 49er crowd is
on their feet,
loving this.
They were convinced they should have won the NFC title game, and this is the bell they ring on every good defensive play. And it's been ding-donging tonight.
Sounds like a cable car in the stadium.
It does. I got to ride them today, too. That's fun. I'm glad they're back working again. I love the cable car.
There's McLemore at the 15-yard line of the 49ers, and Jeff Hayes back once again for the Redskins. He'll be exhausted before the night's over. Sixth punt for Jeff Hayes. The 49ers have punted once. This time Hayes gets a partial turnover. McLemore with the fair catch at the 20-yard line. We have 4:35 remaining in the first half. We'll be back after this from the National Football League.
When your kids join the NFL Super Pro Club, they're part of their favorite team. Members get an official ID card from their favorite team.
Team decal and a whole lot more.
Wow! Like this team calendar with action photos of their favorite team stars and a giant poster of their favorite team.
It's also a fact sheet full of team information and exciting photos that will look great on anyone's wall. A standing board to track their team through the season to the Super Bowl.
Yeah!
It's worth a whole lot more than a $7 membership fee, and your kid can have it all. To join the NFL Super Pro Club, just send member's name, address, name of favorite NFL team, and a $7 check or money order to
NFL Super Pro Club, Box 9000, Trenton, New Jersey, 08650.
And your kids can join the team.
Quick update on baseball's National League East. The Cubs beat the Phillies 3-2 this afternoon. Tonight, the Cardinals beat the Mets 3-2. Bruce Suter's 41st save. That means the Mets are now 7 games back with only 18 left to play. That's it for baseball. Let's go back to football in San Francisco.
That'll be something, won't it? If they make it, and they should, the Cubs' last pennant, 1945.
And the Cubs are getting some revenge, too, aren't they? They've been down there for a long time.
Chicago, busy place this weekend. Our congratulations to Walter Payton, who became the all-time overall yardage leader with a 179-yard rushing day yesterday.
Sweetness.
He is marvelous. On 1st and 10, the 49ers. Tyler following Craig. It's a yard and a half, and that's about it.
Well, if the 49ers have a weakness, they can't run those little, what we call exotic plays inside. They're not like the Miami or Pittsburgh. They can run those switch blocks inside real well. Most of the 49ers linemen are more prone to pass block, and they don't have that quickness inside. Look at that graphic there.
Total yards.
Amazing.
53 for Washington.
We're going to run out of red. Tyler now, 45 yards on 9 carries. Ronaldo Nehemiah into the lineup on 2nd down and 8. He split to the left. There's an opening.
Well, they had enough quickness there.
They caught him in a blitz.
Tyler gets the first down. They did catch him in a blitz, and I think they had a trap on. It's the easy way to get 10 quick yards.
I think you're going to see Larry Cuban 50.
No, it was straight zone blocking.
Yeah, straight zone blocking, and
well, it was zone, but they did have a blitz. That was the middle linebacker.
That's why he wasn't there.
Yeah, he ran himself out of the play.
But as I was saying, they don't have the quickness up front, the 49ers. They run traps and counters, but they're a good power team off tackle, and of course they pass block, and this is a passing team.
1st down and 10, the 49ers. They perfected the passing game, now they're working on the run game. Play action by Montana. Hanging one for Nehemiah, and no chance at all. Good defensive coverage. Tony Peters reading it all the way, stride for stride, and ahead of Nehemiah, as well he should be, because Nehemiah has that 9.3 speed.
That was one of the few poor choices on Montana's part, because it was a deep zone that they were playing. There was no way Nehemiah's speed, I guess the hope springs eternal, because a guy like him may be able to go get it, but I don't think Joe should have put it that deep on that play.
Yeah, it's just a 1st down play, though, Jay. He didn't have any place to go with it. I think they did have him covered, so just throw it away.
Yeah, loosen him up.
Yeah, get out there.
Swirling winds, flags at the goalposts to our right are blowing away from the field. At the left, they are also blowing away from the field. Something must be going on in the middle. Tyler.
Oh, nice move.
On 2nd and 10. Good quick feet for Tyler out over the 35 for a gain of about 6 yards. Bring up 3rd and 4.
I tell you, see, I'd love to see a back do that. He really went into the hole left of the center, drew the middle linebacker to that side, then he hopped to the other side of the center, and he got some positive yards. Of course, the only way you can be successful doing that is if your center gives you a nice push on the nose man, and evidently Quinlan was able to do that.
That, or plus you have a real quick hop when you go to that house.
Well, he had a nice hop on that.
Yeah, get that quick hop.
I get excited about those running backs.
Still should be the pass situation for Montana. Redskins showing blitz, step out of it. And they take it wide with Roger Craig. And Craig cuts it back, breaks it loose to the 43 for a 49er 1st down.
Oh.
And tippers are flaring somewhat.
That was the funniest thing.
That's Monty Coleman, who is very agitated.
He was down on the ground and just couldn't get up, and so he was just kicking the daylights out of that guy.
And they have dropped a flag. Here is our referee, Dick Jorgensen.
That was wild.
Personal foul, 51, defense, unnecessary roughness. Personal foul, 81, offense, unnecessary roughness, all after the play was over.
Get a lot of that.
He's offset, 4th down.
When they never quite know for sure who started the altercation.
4th down, I thought they got the 1st down on the play.
It's 1st down.
It's 1st down.
There you go.
That was a nice run by Roger Craig, you know. Look at that comparison there. Riggins, Tyler. Of course, when you got the passing game going, that helps the running game, and Tyler's had the benefit of Joe Montana having a very successful night.
And down 20-0 if it remains that way. I don't imagine we'll see much of Riggins in the 2nd half. The Redskins are going to have to put it in the air and keep it in the air. Montana on 1st and 10. Tyler. Great moves and quickness. He's inside Redskin territory at the 49-yard line. 9-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 1, and we get the 2-minute warning here at Candlestick Park, and we're going quickly to Jim Lampley in New York.
Well, Frank, with the spinning moves of Wendell Tyler, you are reminded somewhat of Walter Payton, who passed a milestone yesterday. There may be another bigger one later in the season, but on this 10-yard run in the 2nd quarter, Walter Payton became the new NFL record holder in combined yardage, rushing, receiving, and kick returning. Of course, he, along with Franco Harris, is chasing Jim Brown for the all-time rushing record. And after the game, Walter had this to say about his latest accomplishment.
The official came up and he gave me the ball, and I was taking it to the sideline, and then, you know, to see the response of the crowd in the stands, you know, that means a lot, because regardless of what you do or what you say or what you accomplish, if you don't have that appreciation by the people that you're doing it for, then it really doesn't mean anything. And I think that meant the most to me as far as the records or anything else that I accomplished today.
Walter Payton is now 448 yards from breaking the record of Jim Brown, who in 9 years rolled for 12,312 yards, 9 years and 14 game seasons, I might add, for the great Jim Brown. Franco Harris, 317 yards back after yesterday. But our congratulations to Walter Payton. He is one of the fun people to watch play this game.
Well, I asked you last year in the Miami game, Frank, which would be the player you choose if you can take any active player. And my choice at the time was Walter Payton. What's amazing to me is Walter has done it without a real veteran quarterback over all these years. We'll talk about that in a bit.
2nd down and 1 as we return to the action here at Candlestick Park. The 49ers with the football in command of the game as Roger Craig will be stacked up at midfield, short of the 1st down. Seconds ticking off, and we are going to get a San Francisco 49er timeout. The 49ers have 2 timeouts remaining. It'll be 3rd and 3 when we come back. Here's Jim Lampley.
It was the running of Dave Craig which helped to separate Seattle from San Diego yesterday. This 37-yard run out of the shotgun in the 3rd period gave Seattle a 17-10 lead. And you see the statistics there for Craig running on the day. The Seahawks were on their way to a 31-17 victory. Significant in the game, the first appearance in a Seattle uniform of Franco Harris. And on his very first rushing attempt, Harris gained 6 yards off left tackle. This was to be his longest carry of the day as Franco was on his way to a 46-yard game in his new Seattle uniform. Spoke with Pete Johnson after the game. And now we're going to go back to Frank Gifford in San Francisco.
Here's some of O.J.'s pals.
Must be from Betrayal Hill, you know. My neighborhood's around here.
3rd down and 3. The 49ers right at midfield. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Craig pops it for the 1st down and steps out of bounds, killing the clock inside the 41-yard line with 1:45 remaining in the half. Neil Oklowitz was over there defensively for the Redskins.
This Craig is really a deceptive runner to watch because he has so much explosion once he breaks into the open. Now he has that long stride like the great Dallas runner used to have, Dwayne Thomas, and he reminds me of Dwayne quite a bit when he runs the ball.
Same number, 33.
Craig now 28 yards, 8 attempts. The 49ers another 1st down. They have 2 timeouts remaining. They're at the Redskins 41-yard line. Montana gets the screen off, and Craig twice now, he's taken his eyes off that football, and he is a good receiver ordinarily. We mentioned he had nearly 50 receptions a year ago, and flags now are flying as there is another altercation at the 25-yard line.
They're really after Russ Francis tonight. They must have heard his pregame prediction. It's going to be a long night for him. He had about 4 of the Redskins around him that time.
Russ Francis, who took the season off of 81 after retiring from New England. 49ers gave up a 1st-round pick and a 4th-round pick to get Russ.
Foul, unnecessary roughness, 81, offense. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 52, defense, penalties offset, 2nd down.
Here it is, that's Oklowitz, number 52, the middle linebacker. Francis doing a little billy goat type of block, and they just stay with it.
Well, Russ is fired up. There's no question about that.
He might have got caught in that face mask. San Francisco, 18 first downs, Washington 2. Second down and 10 for the 49ers. Craig moves up to the line of scrimmage. Cooper in motion. And this time, good coverage by the Redskins. Roger Craig, the intended receiver, along with Wendell Tyler, and they were picked up and covered well. Vernon Dean, Tony Peters were there, along with Rich Malott.
Against these same 49ers in 1981. Hey, the Redskins, they just don't have it clicking quite yet, do they? Joe will get it worked out. He's done a good job there.
Well, as that graphic showed, they certainly have the ability to come back. They've been in the Super Bowl the last 2 years, and they'll try to make a comeback before this game's over.
It's third down and long yardage. Protection for Montana. And he was able to get the ball to Dwight Clark, but it was the good protection he got. He wanted to go to another receiver, or maybe Dwight Clark. Dwight Clark was covered. And with the protection he had, he was able to get the first down. And Dwight Clark is slow getting up.
Well, it certainly helps when you're at 6'4". As I said, this Redskin team that's been to the Super Bowl the last 2 years, not 3 years. It's a team that's capable of coming back, but not when you have a guy run a pattern like that, and that 6'4" able to get up there and get the ball.
He did a nice job, didn't he, of uncovering there.
Tony Washington, the defensive Redskin, slipped, but again, the offensive line giving Montana time to wait until Dwight Clark uncovered. Another 49er first down.
Oh, yeah.
And another completion, Earl Cooper, and he is close to another first down, perhaps a half a yard short. And that noise you're hearing is coo, coo, coo that you can hear for Earl Cooper. 49ers stop the clock. They have one timeout remaining.
Second and a yard.
Well, we've brought you 3 games in the last 8 days. And
let's keep it up.
Denver and Cleveland go on Sunday night, a pair of teams that are hurting. And then on Monday night, Don and I'll be in Cleveland, and then O.J. and I'll be up in Buffalo. He loves to go back to Buffalo.
Yeah. It's going to be nice that Joe Ferguson, they reported he broke his nose. Well, he didn't break his nose. They expect him to practice Thursday. And the way that team's going, that's good news for the Buffalo Bills.
Cleveland and Denver, game we're going to do, those 2 teams got to get it going in a hurry. Denver got shut out by the Bears last week, and that's something very unusual for a fairly offensive-minded old pal of mine, Danny Reeves.
19 first down for the 49ers now. Washington has a couple. 46 offensive plays run off by the 49ers. Washington has managed only 18. Montana, 15 of 27, 186 yards and a touchdown. It's been the 49ers' first half. Second down and about a yard. That's the time remaining in the first half. Craig in motion, gets into the pattern. Montana looking for Clark, he's wide open. He did a number on Tony Washington, who was taken apart last week by Miami. And that's what they wanted to see from Dwight Clark. The drive, breaking it into the post and then breaking it to the corner. He had individual coverage.
Well, that was Green that missed him first.
He looks inside.
And there's that move to the outside. Derek Harmon, it looks like, is the guy that gets over there.
Yeah, well, what made that play go was he was able to avoid Green at the line of scrimmage. He was supposed to hold him up a little bit to give Washington time to get over there.
You're right. Actually, I was on the wrong side of the page there. That was Tony Washington's right.
Wershing drills it through.
Somebody could have told me that.
Somebody flipped your flip card.
That's right. It looks a lot like Tony Washington.
27-0, and I'd like to be a fly on the wall for what's going to happen at halftime in the locker room with the Redskins. I don't think Joe Gibbs is a demonstrative type of coach, but he has certainly been given a lot to demonstrate against. They have been beat defensively. They have not been able to produce the offense, and it's hard to believe we're looking at a team that was 14-2 last season. They lost 2 games in regular season. They lost to Green Bay by 1 point in a marathon, 48-47, and they lost 30-31 to the Dallas Cowboys in the opener. perhaps exposed somewhat in the Super Bowl when they were blown away by the Raiders 38-9. Do they love it up here, O.J.?
Go Niners. They waited long enough. You know, they waited about 30 years before they got a championship a couple of years ago, and they love this 49er team.
Ray Walsh came in 79, and 49ers had only one winning season between 72 and when Walsh came in 79. He didn't do too much that first year, but he really got things on track. His first season, he was 2-14 with you, O.J. Then they were 6-10 in 80. And then they win the Super Bowl against Cincinnati following the 81 season. That's Keith Griffin, the younger brother of Archie Griffin and Ray Griffin of the famous Griffin families of Ohio State.
We have the Griffins and the McCalls here tonight, haven't we?
Make a good sitcom. I like our new toy. I hope you like it. The running, of course, in the red. The black line is passing, and that's where that offensive drive started, at their own 20-yard line. First down and 10, the Redskins. They would dearly love to get something on the scoreboard, but they have 1:07 remaining in the half. They're at their own 35. Bill Washington out of bounds, but not until he picks up a first down near the 46. Ronnie Lott, playing on a very sore ankle, was questionable tonight. He was the man who took Washington out of bounds.
Well, I think they probably went into their book and took out every passing play they have, because we're going to be seeing the Washington Redskins throw the ball in the second half, that's for sure.
First and 10, 1:01. Clock stopped when Washington stepped out of bounds. Theismann loses the ball, scrambles back, and comes up with it.
I'm telling you. Poor babies.
I want my mama.
Big Sky.
And we are going to have a timeout by the Washington Redskins. They now have 2 remaining. There was a loss of a yard on that play.
Redskins have 2 more timeouts.
The nation's capital is, at least through this first half, in mourning tonight. They love their Redskins. They've had over 100 consecutive sellouts. They've provided some of the great thrills in this game over the past few years. And now here is Joe Gibbs in his 4th year, as I mentioned earlier, lost the first 5 games when he came in 1981, and truly remarkable after that. But this is also remarkable. San Francisco 314 yards, Washington managing only 61.
In the first half we're talking about.
Yeah, and if Washington wants to blame anyone, that's Russ Francis. He's had a great first half. They can point the finger everywhere because the 49ers have been able to run on them. They've been able to pass on them, and thus far the Redskins hasn't been able to establish a running game or a passing game.
Second down and 11. Theismann, Washington, good move.
Oh, Joe.
Washington.
Whoa, running.
And he did not go for the first down. He was looking for the big play. Ronnie Lott made the stop. Washington coming up with 9 yards, so it'll be second down and 1. Bill Walsh, he leaves nothing uncovered when he prepares a team to meet an opponent. We ask him how he prepared for tonight.
I think both clubs have some good knowledge of each other because we spent considerable time analyzing each other before last year's playoff game. And consequently, we went in knowing something about them and having some feelings as to how to attempt to stop them or attempt to move the ball. So we put a lot of football in early in the week, and then we've really tailed off. And the last 3 days, we've done very little, hoping that our legs will be fresh for this kind of a contest.
Bill Walsh, and I think he might have had a handle on it.
Well, he had no choice about resting those legs because virtually every linebacker they have some kind of leg problem this week.
They did. Buns and Turner and their rookie Todd Shell all playing with hamstrings. Third down and 1. Theismann, Monk, and Art Monk will have the first down at the 25. At the Redskins, with 1 timeout remaining, are running out of seconds. Theismann will try for the completion. If he doesn't get it, he'll throw it away and kill the clock.
It's that old prevent defense that hasn't prevented much.
On first down, Washington scrambling inside the 20-yard line, and Theismann uses the final timeout with 16 seconds and he'll talk it over with Joe Gibbs as to the possibilities that confront him. They want to make sure they get something on that board, but trailing 27-0, you're not thinking a whole lot of field goals. Getting the exact count.
Seems like to me a team gets started off like this Redskin team has, and it's just they have a hard time getting back on track. I've seen teams do it, but it's really hard. It's for some reason get that rhythm off. They're not playing their game right now with 27-0.
Well, and most times when this thing happens, they need to go to the locker room. Now they'll go in at halftime, and normally it's hard to correct it, during that first half. But they'll come back in the second half, and you'll see a totally different team. But unless they can correct it offensively and defensively, as we look at this statistic, they're not going to get back in this football game.
A lot of pride on this Redskin team, but interestingly enough, 10 players on tonight's roster suited up were not in uniform in the Super Bowl. And there's 17 players who played in the Super Bowl less than 2 years ago who are not in uniform tonight. There's been a lot of changes with Washington. The big names remain intact: Charlie Brown, Joe Theismann, Riggins, but there have been a lot of changes. 2nd down and 7. Looking for Charlie Brown. Good coverage in front by Lott, and help on the inside from the strong safety, Carlton Williamson. Double coverage on Charlie Brown.
Yeah, it just was way overthrown too.
And that's Mosley waiting, and I would be surprised if they like to get on the board. I was going to say I'd be surprised if they kick a field goal at this point. One thing that Bill Walsh has done by getting, he really helped himself by getting Mario Clark. Mario Clark has always been a starter. And how could you foresee Eric Wright going down? But it certainly helps when you can go to your second unit and get a first-rate NFL cornerback to substitute.
What's the time remaining? No timeouts. 3rd and 7. Trying to get it to Washington, hoping that he can get the catch and provide the run. It's incomplete.
You got to think that's really good defensive knowledge. You heard Coach Walsh say they know what they do pretty well. Keena Turner saw him, and he just came right in and took that pass away from him.
We'll see Mark Mosley. His career best of 54 yards, set that NFL record in the 81 and 82 seasons of 23 consecutive field goals. Both very accurate kickers, Wershing and Mosley, and you wonder how they would do if they were kicking on artificial surface. Mosley on a 38-yard attempt. And finally, the goose egg is off the scoreboard. The Redskins pick up 3. But they are down 27-3 as time expires here in the first half. It's been a tough night for the Redskins thus far. But this is a team that plays together, a lot of pride. They'll go into the locker room, try and collect things, pull it together. But it will not be easy. They are playing a red-hot 49er team, a streaky team, and a red-hot Joe Montana. And the crowd loves it. Capacity crowd on hand, 61,000 here at Candlestick Park. All right, we'll be going to Jim Lampley in New York right after this message. 49ers will receive the second half kickoff. Number 32 is Carl Monroe. He's a small one in his second year out of Utah, 5'8", 166 pounds. Jeff Hayes handles the kickoff duties for the Redskins. Derek Harmon, a rookie from Cornell, is also deep for the 49ers. And this will be Harmon. Had a great rushing career at Cornell. And he gets an opening, and Harmon out over the 30 to the 34-yard line. And Montana comes out to take over the offensive unit. 16 of 28, 211 yards, 2 touchdowns in that first half. And meanwhile, Joe Theismann, that's the 2 quarterbacks. Theismann with the helmet. That's Jim Hart, the 18-year veteran, on the right, talking with Joe Gibbs. The last time the Redskins trailed by 20 or more points at halftime was against San Francisco in 81. They trailed 24-3. They went on to lose 30-17. 1st and 10, the 49ers. Earl Cooper in motion. Montana to Cooper. First down up close to midfield. And another observation, no team has ever lost his first 2 games and gone to the Super Bowl. The last time Washington lost 2 in a row goes all the way back to that season of 81, the first year for Joe Gibbs, when they lost consecutively to Dallas and Buffalo. There was some deep thinking going on in the minds of these Redskins at halftime, I can guarantee you. 1st and 10. 49ers, their own 49-yard line. A flag is down as Wendell Tyler is upset. Good tackle by Vernon Dean. We'll have motion against the 49ers. Take a look at the numbers. They were predominantly, of course, 49ers. That's the first quarter. They already had 178 yards of offense. We'll translate that to halftime. It didn't change much. 314 yards of total offense, and the time of possession, again, not quite half.
Illegal motion, number 88, offense, decline, second down.
Freddie Sullivan getting the call. The 49ers have had it completely their way, both offensively and defensively. It'll be second down and 8. Roger Craig and Carl Monroe, the two setbacks for the 49ers. Montana gets a lot of pass rush, primarily in the form of Darrell Grant, who missed last week's game in the loss to Miami, but he is one of the fine pass rushers. And we don't know how much we'll be seeing of Big John Riggins in the second half. 49ers, of course, on top, 27-3. Let's pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
KGO-TV, Channel 7, San Francisco.
Well, she was almost perfect. 3rd and 8, the 49-yard line.
Had her shot. No, she picked her shot.
Intended for Dwight Clark. Overthrown. Defensively, Tony Washington was there. And that will bring up a 4th down. We'll see the punting unit for the 49ers. That means Tom Orris and Mike Nelms will drop for the Redskins. And again, we see double coverage for the Redskins. Darrell Green off to the side. Alvin Garrett is back with Nelms. Nelms bobbles it at the 19 and buried at the 17. That was Virgil C., by the way, who was back on the punt. But the Redskins will start deep in their own territory. What's the old adage? Anything can go bad, it will.
This is today's Chevrolet.
Chevrolet Caprice Classic, one of the world's great automotive values. And for 13 years in a row, the full-size Chevrolet has been the best-selling car of its kind. It's easy to see why. Compare Caprice's deep cushion comfort, its ride, its full-size room, and its affordable price. You can, of course, spend more for a car. But why in the world would you?
That's real value.
That's today's Chevrolet.
Would you believe we started this business in a shed back of my house?
Within our first 6 months, we sold 2 chairs.
The good old days. Now folks come from all over for our handmade furniture because we offer them good workmanship at a fair price. Fellas at Meisterbrow understand that. Today, we could pay as much as we want for beer, but this tastes as good as Budweiser and doesn't set you back as much.
And after a long day of sawdust, you build up a pretty good thirst.
Meisterbrow. Tastes as good as Budweiser at a better price.
On CFA College Football, Coach Barry Switzer takes a determined Oklahoma squad east to battle the high-powered Pitt Panthers. Saturday live at 3:30 Eastern on ABC.
Heard him at the top of the show. If you're with us, said the Redskins are going to have a long night. And he was hit it right on the nose. Reagan stays on the bench. Joe Washington, the man who can run the football as well as catch it out of the backfield, is in there as the setback number 25, and he's had some great games. Theismann fires complete over the middle, and it goes to Don Warren, the tight end. Warren out over the 30-yard line will have a Redskin first down. And his helmet really rattled the head. Take a look at the scoring as it transpired quarter by quarter. Tyler in there in the first possession. They scored again on the second possession. Then Wershing made it 17-0. It was Wershing to make it 20-0. Then Montana to Clark for a 15-yard touchdown. And Mosley, with a few seconds left, put the Redskins on the scoreboard with a three-pointer. Theismann gets out of bounds, and not until he picks up about 5 yards. It was Carlton Williamson taking Theismann out of bounds. So it'll bring up a 2nd down and 5.
It was interesting watching Joe on the sideline with Coach Joe Gibbs. It appeared to me, Don, as if Joe Gibbs was talking to him about the mechanics of throwing the ball. No strategy, how to release the ball there.
He obviously couldn't see. I don't know either, but it looks like what they've done, obviously, is come out with a whole new philosophy this second half. They're trying to get points on the board. And they're going to be throwing that ball a lot. They're going to probably try to hit those. So where do these guys go? Let's hit some zones or do something.
2nd down and 5. Monk is in motion. Joe Washington. Washington has the first down, gets up to the 45-yard line. The little man who first came up with San Diego back in 1976, first-round pick, can do some amazing things for his size and the amount of pounding that his knees have taken over the years.
Yeah, when you consider this off-season, he had arthroscopic surgery on both his knees to be able to come back. After all the problems he's had, physical problems he's had in the past, he's still performing at top level.
Once with Baltimore, he was traded there in '78 from San Diego. He led the league in receiving. 1st and 10, the Redskins. They're at their own 46, and this is Washington, a big opening, and Washington inside 49er territory after a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Stuckey defensively there for the 49ers, number 79.
Well,
I saw him one night, O.J., up in Buffalo on a
wouldn't it be
night.
Buffalo?
Or was it New England?
New England.
I guess it was New England. He had about 270 yards of offense. He ran a kickoff back for a touchdown.
In the rain.
For a touchdown. Caught a touchdown. And all in the rain. It was pouring rain. Remember, Don?
Yeah, that was really quite a show.
2nd down and 4. The ball at the 49ers, 49-yard line. Theismann. Monk is open, and Monk comes down with it at the 30. Good concentration. 1st down, Washington. Dwight Hicks defensively there for the 49ers. And this is a little more like it, Washington fans are saying, all over the capital area.
It appears they just got that field divided about 4 zones. They're sending them right straight, trying to throw between the linebacker. And there's Monk. He gets there right before Dwight Hicks. Lays a pretty good lick on him.
49ers, with all their injuries, like so many teams we've seen in the past when they have been hurt, they play a little bit over their capabilities. They did that in the first half. And deflected, intended for Charlie Brown. Incomplete.
What they're doing now is they don't expect Washington to run too much. So those linebackers are really getting off the ball quickly. Coming on back pretty. That's a good drop by Farnhorst that time, 55. But all of them are really dropping pretty deep, so it's going to make it harder for Joe to complete them in that middle zone.
Jim Farnhorst was a nice find for the 49ers. He's a brother of the 49ers fine offensive tackle Keith Farnhorst, and he was at the Arizona Wranglers over in the USFL. One of the first guys that jumped from that league into this league in farewell.
2nd down and 10. The ball to the 30-yard line of the 49ers. Theismann back. Good pass blocking, and Theismann gets the ball to Virgil C. And C will have another Washington 1st down close to the 15-yard line. And the Redskins, who started deep in their own territory, are on the move.
He's working on Dana McLemore, but this is going to be a good throw. Joe had that ball released. Pretty good, strong throw to the outside.
And we are seeing McLemore in there with a 27-3 lead at halftime. I think Coach Bill Walsh wanted to give Ronnie Lott a breather. Ronnie Lott, with a very severely sprained ankle, played the first half at that right cornerback. John Riggins in the lineup. Theismann, fires a shot. Charlie Brown is there, and the Redskins put together what looks like an NFC champion drive. Almost a demonstrative penalty on the part of Charlie Brown, but you're allowed to spike it under the new rules.
But this is ball again is well thrown. 2 in a row that Theismann has really thrown well. Downtown, Charlie Brown comes across. Played pretty well, actually not too. Mario Clark, your buddy there from Buffalo, he was in the area, wasn't he?
Not bad coverage when you're covering Charlie Brown man-to-man, but that ball was well thrown by Joe Theismann. Here's Mark Mosley to shorten up the 49ers lead. So the Redskins have pulled themselves together, at least in the early going. Here are the second half. Redskins down 27-10. We'll be back in a moment.
IBM presents You Make the Call. Bill Kenny of the Chiefs passes to Stephon Page, who has mid-air possession, but the ball comes loose when Page's back hits the ground. Now you make the call, complete or incomplete.
Everyone is cordially invited to a computer demonstration starring PC Junior from IBM. But what can you do with PC Junior? There are many programs for learning, word processing, filing, budgeting, planning, and more, including many business programs that run on the IBM PC. You can run over 1,000 programs with PC Junior. Now with new keyboard at a store near you.
What call did you make? Regardless of mid-air possession, a receiver must hold onto the ball when he hits the ground. Otherwise, as in this case, it's ruled an incomplete pass.
In a special Sunday night matchup, the Denver Broncos blasted out with the Cleveland Browns. And next Monday night, Golden Arm Dan Marino leads the Miami scoring machine into battle against Joe Ferguson and the Buffalo Bills. 2 power-packed primetime games only on ABC Sports.
The Redskins went 83 yards on the arm of Joe Theismann. Charlie Brown taking it in. Touchdown pass from Theismann from 14 yards out. Jeff Hayes the kickoff. Carl Monroe and Derek Harmon are deep. Short kick. Bounding about, and Carl Monroe finally has to fall on it. And the 49ers, who were so fired up in the first half, they're making their own errors here in the second half. And let's take a look at the scoring drive. Remember, it began all the way at the 17-yard line. It was the first concerted drive the Redskins have put together throughout the night.
Started off basically with a pass. They did that. 5 passes. They didn't run that much, and that's because they've got their passing offense in there. Joe Washington instead of John Riggins.
The 49ers now, they realize they're going to have to reach back and find some of the enthusiasm, the emotion with which they played that first half. First down and 10.
And here it is.
Solomon.
That helps.
Yeah, that helps.
First down out to the 34-yard line.
How many times do you see that where one team will win the first half, and when you're playing against great teams, it's almost as if you're looking at 2 different football games. You know, the second half, the other team comes out and wins the second half by a big score. The 49ers felt coming into this game, I talked to Joe Montana earlier today, that they had to score 30 or more points to beat this team because of the problems that they've had with injuries and to their defensive players, and they may be right before it's over.
Freddie Sullivan now 3 receptions, big ones, 51 yards. He just picked up the first down for the 49ers. That NFC title game 8 months ago, Sullivan had a 76-yard touchdown reception. Wendell Tyler, Dexter Manley pursuing, and he's caught by Rich Malott. Tyler will get about 3 yards out of it to bring up a second down and 7.
You get a feeling that San Francisco's offense is a little more balanced. Hacksaw, the Hogs. Hacksaw, of course, Jack Reynolds. 49ers, but they seem to be a little bit more balanced, where they've got their good short passing game. They can go deep. You got Wendell coming in there, can run. Craig can run a little bit.
Second down and 7. That's the time remaining in the third quarter. 49ers over Washington 27-10. Montana is back.
Ooh.
That almost picked off.
And I think
Harold
he caught
Green was going for it, and in a battle with Dwight Clark.
Ball went through Green's hands. You're right, Frank, and I think it just stuck in Dwight's arms.
Look what I have.
It was right there. We'll check another look.
Green playing bump and run. He can only bump him in the first 5 yards, but he is so quick, a former world-class sprinter, Darrell Green, and it went right through the fingers into the chest of Dwight Clark.
He sees Dwight's got that like an old carrot of watermelon. He said, how did I line up with that ball?
They'll bring out the sticks for the measurement. It'll be very close. 49ers, first down. If they could carry this drive in for a touchdown, it would really take a lot of wind out of the sails of the Redskins. They came back, went 87 yards. If they can hold the 49ers, get the ball back, put some more points on the scoreboard, they could well be back in this. The wide receivers now are Mike Wilson, 85, and Ronaldo Nehemiah, number 83.
Whoa, he got hit.
And pressure on Montana. He had to throw it away, and he was really hammered. He stays on the turf.
Man, I tell you, that was Darrell Grant that was back there, and he really got a lick on him.
It's his second sack of the night, and Montana is hurt.
Whoa. That's the classic position that the quarterback doesn't want to get in. That's with the arm raised and delivering that thing. You expose the ribs.
Your own momentum into the tackler.
That's right.
Joe Montana being treated, and this crowd of 61,000 all of a sudden are very silent. Don, you know about receiving these kind of shots.
Well, you're just in such a vulnerable position because you see the arm goes up, and what's that helmet goes right into the ribs.
Oh.
It appears, because Montana did get up and walk off, but it appears it was just to knock the breath out of him. But that's the way you break some ribs.
Montana does come out. He appeared to be all right, and Matt Cavanaugh has come into the game. That's Montana on the sideline. Montana acquired last year from New England for a second-round draft pick. Played in 52 games in New England over 6 years. Started 8 in 1981. He was a starter for 3 in 82, and he has not thrown a pass either preseason. Well, in preseason, there's a fumble by Tyler. And the Redskins are saying they get it. A team that led the NFL in the giveaway ratio by plus 43 last year gets the football back in midfield, and it was Wendell Tyler who has had this problem over his career that gave up the football, and it looks as though Darrell Grant was there.
I just asked a minute ago. That's the first turnover of the night.
Yes, it is. And you can see once again, Wendell is tackled. He's trying to fight for those extra yards, and historically, that's when that ball normally comes out. And in this case, it's Washington Redskins ball at midfield.
Darrell Grant with a sack on Montana that took him out of the game, and he recovers the fumble. Washington first down at midfield. Blitz is on. Theismann. The man open, and almost picked off by Dwight Hicks. Art Monk, the intended receiver, but Theismann feeling the pressure of the blitz. There he is. He's played himself a football game tonight. Darrell Grant, he missed last week's game with a slight injury, and he has been a performer tonight. And the word from the bench is that Joe Montana just had the wind knocked out of him. I'm sure we'll see him on the next offensive series for the 49ers.
Well, what we're witnessing defensively for the 49ers is the absence of Fred Dean. It appears as if they're going to have to get Dean back because they're going to have to mount some type of pass rush, or the Redskins are going to get back in this game.
Fred Dean, of course, a holdout. They're still negotiating. John McVay of the 49ers negotiating with Dean's representative. That one's deflected, intended for Art Monk, deflected at the line of scrimmage. Big Louis Kelcher is in there, number 94. He's an interesting story. He retired after 9 games with San Diego a year ago. 49ers swapped a whole bunch of choices in the middle of San Diego in the order of their draft to get Louis Kelcher, who came in the 3rd week of training camp, or actually before the 3rd preseason game, and they really, I don't think, knew how much he weighed. The scales don't go that high.
Now, one thing we know, he's academically very strong.
We understand. Tony?
SMU, huh?
That's it.
3rd down and 10. The full blitz on Theismann. He reads it, hangs it up, and it's Art Monk.
Good job by Monk.
Good athlete. He was a fantastic athlete, was Monk at Syracuse. A good running back, good receiver, shattered all kinds of records up there.
It's just a one-on-one. Frank called the blitz, which really was right in there pretty good. You see Mario Clark trying to keep up with him. Lost contact with the ball, and Monk didn't. He came back, made the reception. Good move, Bart.
I can remember so many times when Joe Namath would hit Sauer or Maynard, throw that ball behind him, going down the sideline when the defender wasn't watching.
Monk, 5 receptions, 100 yards. The Redskins inside the 21-yard line of the 49ers, trying to get back in the game. Theismann, wide open field, and steps out of bounds before he could get the first down, but he'll be 2nd and short. Heads up play, Joe Theismann, who, like Montana, was rattled in the first half when he was hit a shot to the head.
It's kind of offensive pattern you call. That was kind of a turn in and then go by his 2 wide receivers. They're going to try to get the defensive secondary to commit themselves and try to get a touchdown. Secondary didn't fall for it, so he had to run it. Had them covered pretty well downfield.
They marked it at the 14, so it'll be 2nd down and 3. Heisman now has 34 yards rushing. That will tell you the kind of pass protection he's been given. Virgil C. in the lineup, number 80, top of your screen. That's Monk in motion. Heisman hanging it for Charlie Brown.
Touchdown, looked like. No, he says he's out.
And Gibbs is saying that Ronnie Lott drove him out of bounds. Charlie Brown had possession, he is saying, so is Gibbs, but they will not allow the completion. Keep in mind, if he catches this ball and is driven out of bounds by Lott, then it should be a completion.
Not a real good angle to see that one. Let's look at it again from another angle.
That defender drives you out of bounds.
I tell you, that was really close because the official that calls it's the one who's behind those guys.
Not sure he could have come down with both feet in, however.
That's true.
Even Ronnie Lott's feet came down out of bounds.
3rd down and 3. This one, an important down for Washington. Heisman drills it in, gets the completion to Charlie Brown. He'll have the first down inside the 10. It'll be first down, goal to go.
Somehow you knew it would happen.
That's that controlled rollout that the Redskins use. That was not being forced out of the pocket. He goes back, sets up, then rolls to his right, brings those offensive linemen with him, and then Charlie kind of slipped in on the middle, picked up the first down. The option you have there is that if Charlie would have been covered, then Joe can run and give a signal for those linemen to go downfield and block.
The Redskins coming back, showing the form that has carried them to the past 2 Super Bowls. They have a first down, goal to go. Riggins back in the lineup. Tries the middle. Riggins. 240 pounds of Riggins surging inside the 4-yard line. It'll be second down, goal to go.
He's definitely rested because he hasn't run that much tonight.
I know the New York Giants, who will meet the Redskins next Sunday in the nation's capital, are watching tonight's game, and they are watching 2 different teams. The Redskins of the first half terribly inept, both offensively and defensively, but you better believe that Phil Simms already with 7 touchdowns. Lawrence Taylor, who's chewing everyone up, they're looking on with a great deal of interest. Riggins.
And if
they hold him out of the end zone at the 2.
And if folks out there think that O.J. and I haven't heard about the Giants this weekend, I've never heard so much in my life, have you?
No.
All they talk about. How about them Giants? How about them Giants?
Well, Don, you may have to admit I did leave out yesterday's score.
Yes, you did. How about them Giants?
I think the Giants are going to see this Redskins team next week, though. This team has awakened after last week and this week, first half this week. I think this is the Redskin team you're going to see the rest of this season.
Keep in mind, they were down 27-3 at halftime. They now trail 27-10. They are knocking at the door. Riggins, you get him going laterally, and he's not effective at all. And the 49ers forced him to step outside, and that is not the route that Riggins likes to take.
Actually, Big Mark May couldn't make his move very quick to the outside, and it looked to me as if Riggins ran into Mark.
You got to go at this point, 27-10. You need a touchdown.
Yeah.
Not 3.
And if you're the Hogs up front, they got a big reputation. You got a big fullback, Riggins, who broke the NFL record for touchdowns, running most of them in from here. You're supposed to make this.
It's 4th down. The stadium on its feet. It's the partisan 49er crowd. It'll be Riggins.
Go off tackle.
Riggins.
Yeah.
And we have a different football game.
We knew we would.
I'm glad we do.
Just hope he's still with us.
I'll tell you, he came over the top that time.
Yeah, not to be denied.
That is his 84th rushing touchdown. He moves into sole possession of 3rd place in the history of the NFL.
You kind of get the feeling he's going to score about right there, don't you? I'm going in.
Well, I tell you, he scored, 23, 24 touchdowns last year. I think about 18 of them were from this distance, and he's almost unstoppable from there.
NFL record, 24 of a year ago. Mosley brings it ever closer. Washington down by 10. They trail 27-3 at halftime. We have 5:04 remaining in the 3rd quarter. I wouldn't go away.
Some things look hard, but once you know the secret, they're easy.
It's easy.
Some people think financing a new car is hard, but it isn't. It's easy.
It's as easy as GMAC.
With GMAC, buying or leasing a new GM car or truck is easy. Ask your GM dealer and see how easy it is. Financing a new car may seem hard, But once you know the secret,
It's as easy as GMAC.
It's easy.
There. That's Tom Lee's car. Tom wasn't a State Farm policyholder when we met, but he had a claim against one of my policyholders that started about here and went all the way over to there. Well, we smoothed things out for Tom, and he was pretty impressed. But that's not unusual. Ask your neighbors. Fast, fair claim service is one reason more of your neighbors insure with State Farm than anyone else. Ask anyone. If you know Tom Lee, ask him.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
John Riggins takes it in to shorten the 49er lead to 10 points and quiet a crowd that was having a ball in the first half. The Redskins playing back to their NFC championship form of a year ago. Jeff Hayes the kickoff. Carl Monroe is deep along with Derek Harmon. This one will be taken short. Now it bounces. And finally, Carl Monroe has to dive on it, and all the things that went wrong for the Redskins now are happening to the 49ers. And let's take a look at the scoring drive with our new toy.
And love it. All right. The runs are in red. Passes are in black.
Remember, Darrell Grant getting the fumble recovery at midfield. Wendell Tyler coughing it up for the 49ers.
They got down inside that 10, and they give the ball to Riggins, and that's how they got it over. They've done that so well in the last few years.
First down and 10. The way to get some of the wind out of the Redskins is to put some points on the board, and Montana knows that. Tyler. And he's stacked up, and this is a different Redskin team. They are hitting entirely different in the second half. I want to remind you, Sunday, September the 16th, live at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Baseball coming your way. Kansas City Royals and the Seattle Mariners, Kingdome in Seattle. Minnesota Twins and the Texas Rangers. The American League West is where you will find baseball's hottest pennant race. This Sunday, you'll see the division's top teams scrap it out as the Royals take on the Mariners or the Twins against the Rangers. And the Twins right now are winning big. They're leading 7-3, top of the ninth inning, and if they win tonight, it looks like they have a good possibility of doing just that. They will tie Kansas City for first place. The race is really there. Second down and 8.
Oh.
Montana chased out of the pocket.
Look out, here comes Dexter.
Montana fires a shot, and it's complete. Freddie Solomon.
They needed that one. First down for them.
Well, the last two times they got the ball, they were able to get a first down, but somehow they sort of bogged down once they get to midfield. They need a score right now. They need to score real bad because this Redskins team is fired up.
It's the first turnover. We've seen it relatively, we've seen so many turnovers the first few games this year. It's nice to see when they're not throwing it to the other guys.
At the 27-yard line, the 49ers trying to take some of the steam out of the Redskins, who are really fired up here in the second half. That is Roger Craig. He slips, comes to his feet, and gets a yard or a yard and a half out of it. It'll be second and long. I'm going to run down the rest of the baseball scores, games that are final. We're looking at 3 of them there. A couple of partial scores. That's the Kansas City-Minnesota game we spoke of a moment ago. Win by the Twins, and they move into a first-place tie with Kansas City and the Cubs leading the Mets. Craig was able to get up close to the 30-yard line, so it'll be second down and 3. Dwight Clark back in the game, number 87, wide receiver, 49ers. Play action by Montana. Grand pressure, but he gets the ball off. Gets it to Solomon, who's having a great night.
That was a really smooth run. Smoothly run play right that time. He made a little play fake. Watch Montana. Has a little quick fake to the, yes, it was Wendell. Tucks that ball in, and Solomon comes back to his outside. That was right on the money. Good move.
I tell you, over the years, the 49ers have looked for someone to take Freddie's place because sometimes you question his motivation, but he's always made the big play, and he's always there, and that's why he's still here.
He's in his 10th year, Fred Solomon, and he's having a big night. 49ers from their own 43-yard line. Tyler. And the darting one gets up close to midfield, a gain of about 6.5 to 7 yards.
Got around that corner in a hurry, didn't he?
I mentioned earlier the fumble problem that Tyler has started to overcome somewhat in the last 3 years. Ended tonight, and he's fumbled once tonight that resulted in a Redskin score a few moments ago. He had fumbled more than any other back in the NFL, 28 times. Heisman, and he wants to get back in there. He is some competitor. He turned 35 yesterday. Makes him a Virgo, doesn't it? Second down, call it a long 3. Wide open is Mike Wilson. He'll never get away from Green. The former world-class sprinter ran him down at about 10 yards, and I know Mike Wilson was stunned, but he should have been aware that Darrell Green, maybe the fastest back, at least he was last year, until Ron Brown came in football today.
Well, he was wide open. He got open in a hurry.
That had to be a mess-up.
Well, he's aware of him because he keeps looking back. Now, with his height at 6'4", he should turn around and stiff-arm the little guy right on his helmet, skip out of it, but it's a 44-yard gain.
You don't have much respect for those little folks, do you?
He just is always thinking about running with that ball, isn't it? How do you get a run with it some more?
That was an important play for the 49ers. They'll have a first down goal to go at the 6-yard line. Montana 22 of 37, 314 yards, 2 touchdowns. Craig, and the Skins can be tough down here.
I tell you one thing, I saw Darrell Green run Tony Dorsett down last year, keep Dorsett from scoring a touchdown, and it turned out it kept Dallas from scoring a touchdown because they held him and they had to kick a field goal.
Not that he runs them down, you know, he's 10.08 or 100 meters, but he runs them down so fast. That's the end of the third quarter. Different kind of football game coming your way now. Washington is shortened. The San Francisco 49ers lead to 10. After this message, we'll be back.
Join David Burney, Morgan Brittany, and Arthur Hill Thursday at 8, 7 Central for the special premiere of Glitter.
On Channel 7 News tonight, no-cost hospital service for kids. Joyce Shank gets big game fever, plus the lottery that's making the legislators hot, all on Channel 7 News tonight.
Why should you buy JCPenney Auto Insurance?
Because JCPenney Auto works harder for me. They give me a great deal on rates.
They settle 88% of our claims in 3 business days after proof of loss.
The thing I like is that JCPenney Auto lets me choose the garage for repair.
I get 50% more medical coverage when I fasten my seatbelt.
I bought it because it's JCPenney Auto Insurance.
Why should you buy JCPenney Auto Insurance?
They work harder.
At Kentucky Fried Chicken, we'd like you to know your rights.
You've got a right to the only chicken cooked fresh with the Colonel's 11 herbs and spices.
You've got a right to chicken cooked under pressure, squeeze flavor into each juicy bite. You've got a right to chicken that tastes so good, it could only be original recipe chicken.
Now, aren't you glad you know your rights?
You've got a right to chicken done right. Original recipe, we do chicken right.
They're primetime people tonight at 10.
Key elements, the pitching of Mike Smithson and a 4-run rally on 6 straight hits in the bottom of the 8th. The victory has tied the Twins with the Royals atop the American League's Western Division. California's Angels remain a game and a half back. Now back to Frank Gifford in Candlestick.
That from the world of baseball. We begin the fourth quarter with the 49ers with the football. Second down, goal to go. They're at the Washington Redskins 7-yard line. Talking about Diana on the East Coast, they've got Marie, a tropical storm moving up the coast here on the left coast, as they like to say out here. Montana back, second down, goal to go. He can take it a long way. Touch the end zone. Montana chased out of the pocket, takes it in from 7 yards out. The man can do a lot of things.
And you got to admire the way he put his head down. He had the wind knocked out of him just moments ago. Put his head down and went across like Riggins.
Yeah, this kid tough.
There is the pressure. He got it once again from Grant.
You look out to the outside. He had a pretty good pressure from Dave Butts. He ran away from Dave.
Holman couldn't come up, number 51 for the Redskins, because he had a man behind him working a pattern.
And look at Wendell Tyler. It was Wendell's block down there on the goal line that enabled Montana to get in the end zone.
Ray rushing to the uprights and the 49ers. Well, we have flags now, several flags down.
Oh, they've done
And
it
twice
again.
tonight, the 49ers will have to take the penalty and kick the conversion once again.
I wonder if it's old McCauley again out there on the outside, hugging them as they go by.
Well, the way the Redskins offense is going, I think they needed that touchdown.
Holding, number 67.
Yeah.
Offense, one more try.
He should have explained to him he's not holding them, he's hugging them when they go by.
It's John McCauley, and I think he's out there on Darrell Green. And Darrell Green with that great speed. McCauley is making sure that Darrell Green does not get to Wersching's placement. You'll see it. He's 67, far right of your screen. That's Darrell Green right on his outside shoulder. And once again, he grabs Darrell Green.
Didn't hug him quite as hard that time.
All right, we'll be returning to Candlestick Park.
This is today's Chevrolet.
Performance.
Camaro Z28. A Camaro that did a test track 0 to 55 in 6 seconds. A Camaro with remarkable new handling. Z28. Camaro. More beauty and a lot more beast.
Now that's a moving performance.
That's today's Chevrolet.
There are lots of furnaces you can choose for your home. But for the most efficient energy, forget all but the gas furnaces. And to cut energy costs further, consider only the high-efficiency gas furnaces. Of those, only one has advanced pulse technology.
The Lennox Pulse Furnace. It will make your heating more efficient.
Take it from Dave Lennox. You can save a lot of gas with a Pulse.
Attaboy, Dave!
Today and tomorrow, gas gives you more for your money.
Joe Montana passed for 4 touchdowns in 2 different games last season. One on an ABC Thursday night edition, the other on the final Monday night game against Dallas.
We're back live now. Wersching set to kick off. Mike Nelms has dropped for the Redskins. That could have taken a lot out of the Redskins. They came back with 14 quick points in the third quarter. Here comes Nelms. Spins to the outside. A flag is down as Nelms gets back to the 32-yard line. 13-yard return. Dick Jorgensen, our referee tonight, sorts it out.
It's not a very long kick, was it?
And the Redskins will be backed up. While they back them up, we'll tell you that live at 3:30 Eastern Time this Saturday, Oklahoma against Pittsburgh from Pitt Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Head coach Barry Switzer leads his Oklahoma Sooners east to battle the Pittsburgh Panthers. And you'll see it right here on ABC. CFA College Football on ABC. Live at 3:30 Eastern Time. They were anticipating a record crowd here tonight. That would mean they'd have to get a shoehorn to get them in because they've had a lot of sellouts. We are told it's the 4th largest crowd in Candlestick Park's history. On first down, Theismann finds Art Monk. And Monk, who's having a big night, will get the first down for the Redskins out close to the 44-yard line.
Theismann got a pretty good hit from Dwayne Board that time. We'll see it come back in. Board 76.
Oh.
And Joe kind of looks up. And wham! Well, you didn't see, but
it was Board, though, and
yeah.
without Fred Dean in the lineup, Board is perhaps the best pass rusher of these 49ers.
I don't know if you saw Dwight Hicks make the tackle, but he got his head down a little too low. I think he got kicked in the head, and he is really seeing stars.
They can ill afford to lose any kind of defensive back as Dwight Hicks sort of staggers off the field. I told you earlier, Eric Wright is out for several weeks, a fine cornerback on the left side. Ronnie Lott played the first half, but now he's back in the lineup. He has a very severely sprained ankle, and now Hicks is out. And in comes Tom Holmoe, 4th-round pick a year ago, and principally has been a nickelback. He is now in the lineup. 1st and 10. Theismann in trouble.
That's what you need.
That's an offside, though, by San Francisco, so they'll bring that one back.
Flag is down. Jeff Fuller on the safety blitz.
Yeah, somebody's quick, but they're not that quick.
There are 2 flags down.
Well.
Offside. So a sack is negated, and it'll be first down and 5. Those are the stats from halftime through the third quarter. Game still dominated by San Francisco total yardage, but Washington has shortened it up considerably with third quarter play. They picked up 14 points. First down and 5 for the Redskins. The ball inside their 49-yard line. Joe Washington, number 25, in the backfield now for the Redskins. Walker in motion.
This is that moving pocket. Wide open.
Wide open. It's Warren, the tight end, and Warren is down to the 27-yard line for another skin first down.
Don was not really looking to go very far on that one. He said, there got to be somebody around here. I can't be that wide open.
Interesting how they set up that pocket. They bring Walker in motion. He becomes part of the offensive line, which sort of peels back, and it gives Theismann a good shield to the outside and utilizes what he can do so well, and that is scramble if he has to. Still at 35, a fine athlete. Monk in motion. Theismann under pressure, but he gets a shot off that Charlie Brown characteristically does not hold on to.
I think he threw it a little early, Frank. Charlie hadn't come out of his break that time. That ball was, not saying he couldn't have caught it, but it was maybe a throw a little early.
Well, what we spoke about last week down in Anaheim, Charlie was trying to make his break on this infield and looked like he was skating there a little bit.
Good point. I didn't
have his balance.
He was open.
That'll bring up second down and 10. Here's the cut. They're still playing baseball, of course, here, the Giants at Candlestick Park. There's the attempt at a cut. Not a plant your foot and cut. He was sort of a square corner, if you will. Second and 10. Theismann.
Good play.
A good defensive play by Fuller, the rookie out of Texas A&M, a fifth-round draft pick on Art Monk.
That really was a good play because anything else would have been pass interference. He stayed right there and had one move, and that was to jump right in front of him. Hullabaloo, Kudnick, hullabaloo, Kudnick. Those Aggies, you got to watch them, you know.
Theismann coming back, 17 of 30, 225 yards, a touchdown. Third down and 10. 13:05 remaining in the game. San Francisco 34, Washington 17. That's Virgil C., the top of your screen. Theismann, Monk is there, and Monk holds on to it. Inside the 10, down close to the 7 before he's upended by Dwight Hicks. It'll be first down and goal to go.
Look at it from this angle. You're going to see that Art goes into the inside. This ball is thrown right there. He had his man beaten, and here comes Hicks coming in from the other side. Art pretty well figured he was going to be close, so he ducked in there to meet him.
Beating Mario Clark from the Buffalo Bills, who came to the 49ers this year. Mario probably saying, I didn't know they had those kind of receivers over in that league. First down, goal to go. Theismann gets it into Joe Washington. Does he hold on? If so, it'll be inside the 1. Yes, he does. And you'll see Riggins, I'm sure, now.
Complete to Washington.
I tell you, the Skins have put two good drives together this second half. They've moved the ball.
If you weren't with us earlier, it was all 49ers in the first half. They had run off a 27-0 lead before the final play of the half when we got a Mosley field goal to make it 27-3. And the Redskins are threatening to shorten it to 10 once again. Riggins.
Ball game time.
Yeah, and now I'm looking at the Joe Theismann we're accustomed to watching. He's jumping up and down. He's slapping hands.
Well, they went off to the left the time before and come back to the right this time. Basically the same play. John thought he might have to jump over, but there was a hole there that time.
Riggins gets his second touchdown of the night. And Mosley will be there to try to shorten the lead to 10. Theismann very slow in getting it down, but it's through the uprights. And San Francisco 34, Washington 24, 11:42 remaining in the game.
People tend to confuse me with the roles I play, which is ridiculous because I'm not a neat freak. For example, I just got a Beta Zoom copier from Minolta, but not because I can add toner without getting that disgusting black powder all over my hands. No, I got a Minolta Beta Zoom because it takes this mess of different size originals and gives back copies in one neat size automatically. But that doesn't make me a neat freak. Of course, I'm not a slob either, like
The Beta Zoom copiers, only from the mind of Minolta.
Marianne Sanford makes over 20 critical checks on seatbelt systems in GM cars. She's only one of over 1,800 GM people who make more than 6,000 safety inspections on over 6 million GM cars worldwide to build safer cars, because it's important to you and to her.
Okay, guys, buckle up.
Nobody sweats the details like GM.
Undefeated Donald Curry defends his crown against the wily Nino LaRocca in the WBA World Welterweight Championship, plus the World Road Cycling Championship when ABC's Wide World of Sports returns September 22nd.
Well, it's going to tool around in the blimp, as pilot Dick Esch is doing with our cameraman Charlie Mitchell. You may as well do it in San Francisco. Beautiful night. Fog starting to come in somewhat. Temperatures have dropped off from a tremendous heat wave they've had here over the past few days. Jeff Hayes, the kickoff. Carl Monroe, number 32, is deep, along with number 24, Derek Harmon. Here comes Derek Harmon, the rookie from Cornell. And Harmon out to about the 28-yard line. John Reagan's a couple of touchdowns tonight, but this is not the kind of game that he gets back into, although we may see him much more should the Redskins be able to hold the 49ers and get the football back, trailing only by 10. Carl Monroe, the second-year man from Utah, stays in a setback along with Roger Craig, number 33, for the 49ers. Joe Montana changing things up. The blitz is on. They pick it up, and Dwight Clark is wide open. Dwight Clark wide open as he beats Vernon Dean. The blitz was on Vernon Dean in man-to-man, and he was not a match for Dwight Clark.
He's got him man-to-man. Clark is not known as their speedster.
That was an automatic, too, Don.
Could have been, Frank, because there's a little delay right there at the end of the line. That ball is well thrown. Good concentration by D. White. They needed that one, didn't they?
You saw Montana somehow tipping the blitz. You saw him changing the play at the line of scrimmage. He knew he'd have single coverage, and he gets it to Dwight Clark. First down and 10. The ball at the 16-yard line. Wendell Tyler, right side. That time, a good play by Tony Peters. Peters, of course, coming back from a season of suspension, drug involvement. The 2-year suspension by the NFL was lifted.
Monty Coleman seems to be the guy that's down for the Redskins there.
Look at it again. You see the blitz. You see it coming.
Neil Olkowitz, middle linebacker, comes in there.
Malott also came.
Almost looked like Darrell Green lost his balance when Dwight gave him a shot to the inside. He just couldn't catch up.
Look at this. I grew up watching a guy named Dave Parks do this for the 49ers, and Dwight reminds me so much of Big Dave.
Texas Tech. It was Vernon Dean was the guy that was back on the defense there.
Monty Coleman slow getting up. Hard-hitting football game tonight. We've had a lot of rattle ball players. Both quarterbacks have been shaken up. Monty Coleman, they use him a lot on pass defense. Consequently, he's been in there a lot tonight.
I think the best news for the 49ers tonight, besides the score at this point, is Dwight Clark looks as if he's getting back to his old form. He only caught 2 passes last week, and he's the guy who's averaged about 72 catches, 74 catches for the last 4 years.
Take away Keller Winslow, and he's been the most prolific receiver over the past 3 years. Montana, play action. That one he just threw away. Russ Francis well covered. Stops the clock with 10:06 remaining in the game. And it'll bring up 3rd down and long, 3rd and 9 for Joe Montana.
Looks like he was throwing a mini alley-oop on that one.
Yeah, he was. You know, I keep up with statistics a lot. I'm into that. And I thought I'd share with you guys here in the booth if anybody's interested. It's been 5 years since the Redskins have given up 500 yards in total offense, and they are 1 yard short of that tonight.
Solomon goes to the right.
You're not interested in that,
White,
O.J.?
Clark split to the left. 3rd down and 9.
Huh. I thought that was good.
Wendell Tyler.
Look out.
And down goes Joe Montana. It's the blitz from Dexter Manley on the right side. Dexter Manley just shucking off Big Bubba Paris. And that is the Redskins' first sack of the season. We mentioned earlier they had nothing against Miami. They had no interceptions. They have no interceptions tonight, but they do get their first sack. Watch at the bottom of your screen. Dexter Manley against Big Bubba Paris.
Big Bubba's really come into his own. This is really the first sack the 49ers has given up this year. They had 2 last week, but one was on a fumble by Montana, and the other one, Montana had about 8 seconds, and he just couldn't find a receiver.
38-yard attempt. Ray Wersching on 4th down. Montana gets it down. And one can only wonder, with the record that Wersching has, how he would stand up in statistics if he were kicking somewhere but Candlestick Park, where the wind swirls constantly. In the Superdome a year ago against New Orleans, he kicked 6.
This camping trip was a good idea. Yeah, it sure is relaxing.
Peaceful. Groovy.
Groovy? Kind of dark, though. Man, I'm getting thirsty. Yeah, let's have another light beer from Miller.
Lights, less filling.
Taste great! Less filling! Taste great!
Less filling!
What was that?
The creature.
What creature?
Well, legend has it that a horrible thing stalks these woods.
Oh, Mickey!
And it comes out when the moon is full.
What does this creature look like?
It walks on 2 legs, but it isn't human. It's got big eyes that bulge out and...
It's the creature! Hey, guys, where you going? Hey, guys, where are the marshmallows?
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Come on, it's after us! Man, did you see that thing? Suck
A full moon here in San Francisco. The moon being distorted somewhat by the fog that has been moving in.
Yeah, that's really strange looking. I love it. I love the moon. I see the moon sees me.
9:49 to go as we look at Mike Nelms. Ray Wersching kicks away. This will be Keith Griffin, and the flag flies, the ball going out of bounds, and they'll back Wersching up 5 yards.
Out of bounds. Offense.
And when they'll bring it back, we'll remind you tonight on Nightline with Ted Koppel, a look at the scandal that is rocking the art world. Are all of Salvador Dali's works authentic? Plus the latest on Hurricane Diana. That's tonight on Nightline following your late local news. And for those of you on the West Coast, be sure to stay tuned for a Barbara Walters special immediately following the game. Barbara Walters, our First Lady of ABC News, celebrates 7 years of her specials with segments taped from past programs. Many of them, of course, never broadcast. Wersching will kick from the 30-yard line. And that assures that there will be a Washington run back. Wersching is not a deep kicker on kickoffs. Nelms is in the middle, flanked by Virgil C. and Keith Griffin. Nelms from the 11-yard line. So many times, Mike Nelms comes up with a big return when it's needed the most, and he gets to the 45-yard line before Milt McCall makes the stop. Let's watch it again. And then came down from Canada a few years ago where he had some remarkable games up there, and doesn't have the big numbers, but 3 of the past 4 years he has been the Pro Bowl returner for the NFC. Not great speed.
Well, he has courage, and that's what the other players around the league respects. He'll fights through tacklers. He never goes down without a fight.
45-yard line. Virgil C. stays in a wide receiver for the Redskins. Still Washington remains as a setback. The good receiver out of the backfield. Theismann goes to him. That one could have been picked off. Theismann had a lot of steam on it, but Keena Turner is a very quick linebacker, and he was right there.
Theismann looked at him the whole way that time, so gave Keena a little bit advance notice that he was coming in his area, so he made the play for it.
You know, Keena was a great find for the 49ers a few years back. You know, he's from Chicago. He went to vocational high school, and there was one other real great linebacker from that high school. Dan, who you think it was?
I don't know.
Dick Butkus.
From vocational high.
Oh, maybe the best that ever played.
Second down and 10. The ball at the 45-yard line of the Redskins. 9:26 remaining in the game. Theismann. And
he was off.
This time he was short and perhaps fortunate that he was. It'll bring up third down and 10. Dwight Hicks defensively there.
Third and 10.
In the first quarter, in the first half, it was really all San Francisco. It was 27-3 at halftime. In the third quarter, the Redskins got a couple of touchdowns out of John Riggins, one following the only turnover we've had. And we are at 37-24, the 49ers over the Redskins. 9:19 remaining in the game, and the Redskins looking over a third down and 10. Theismann, pressure. And
looked like Pee Wee, Dwayne Board.
Dwayne Board, who has moved over to the weak side because of the loss of Fred Dean. The flag is down, but I think it's against Washington. Dwayne Board played that left side, and Fred Dean was not signed. They moved him over to the right side. That would be the blind side for the quarterback, and they moved him there because he's the best pass rusher they have remaining.
And we'll look at the call coming up, but I'll tell you something about Pee Wee. They call Dwayne Board Pee Wee, and he's, I think, the most valuable defensive lineman the 49ers have. He had 13 and a half sacks last year, 2 in the playoffs. We take a look at him right there.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 73, offense, striking an official.
Mark May, unsportsmanlike conduct. Go ahead, O.J.
Saying something unnice to the official by Mark May. But if you look at how the 49ers have played with and without Dwayne Board, they're 30 wins, 11 losses without him. They're 6 wins, 15 losses when he's not around. I mean, with him, they won 30 and lost 11. Without him, they won 6 and lost 15. He's a very valuable player for this San Francisco 49er team.
Jeff Hayes to punt. McLemore for the 49ers following that penalty should be able to bring the ball back to pretty good field position. This one he'll stay away from. Makes a bit of a Redskin bounce down close to the 36-yard line. But the 49ers now with 9:04 remaining, they need ball possession. Guy's got his seasons mixed up.
Yeah, but his mother doesn't know where he is.
That's Ray Jason, the juggler.
I would have guessed that out of a multiple choice.
Well, 2 of them are like baseball and football, and basketball is going to be on us before we know it.
35-yard line, the 49ers, and the crowd is getting back in it. The 49ers with a 13-point lead. 9:04 remaining, and the Redskins threatening a blitz. The Niners come with the draw to Roger Craig, and there's an opening, and Craig picks up 5 at the 40-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 5, and we are going to allow our stations 5 seconds to identify themselves.
KGO-TV, Channel 7, San Francisco.
And those are the stations around the nation that are bringing you tonight's game.
It's not so surprising to see the 49ers run the football. You recall in the Super Bowl a few years ago when they had to get a score at the end of the game, they put the ball on the ground, even though they're known as a passing team.
2nd down, 5. Tyler loses the ball, and the Redskins are there, but a flag is down.
That is amazing.
Dexter Manley has the ball, but again, a flag is down. Wendell Tyler, that would be his 2nd fumble of the night, and the preliminary indication, it's against the 49ers, and the Redskins have a lot of time left. They trail by 13.
Number 68, offense, decline.
John Ayers holding, of course, decline. Dexter Manley gets the fumble, the 2nd of the night from Wendell Tyler.
Well, Wendell felt good coming into this game because last week they let him carry the ball twice. inside the 10-yard line, and he scored twice, so they showed they had some confidence in him. As you
in the
can
wrong
see
hand,
here.
OJ.
Yeah, he
the
did.
right hand on the inside.
And that's where he gets. He lets that ball swing out. But this is one thing you got to admire about him. He's fighting for those extra yards, and it's normally at that time that he'll fumble.
That's 30 fumbles in 3 years. First and 10, 49-yard line. The Redskins have an opportunity. And down goes Theismann. He's pursued and dropped.
Ron
Good
Ferrari.
defensive play, Ron Ferrari.
Yeah, Ron was a little faster than Theismann anticipated.
Joe used to have a lot of speed. There's Dexter Manley. He's played a game tonight. Theismann used to, when Billy Kilmer was around, just because he wanted to play, he'd go in and run back punts. It'll be second down and 9.
Kilmer says he still should be doing that.
8:08 remaining.
Second and 9.
A touchdown, and the Redskins could draw to within 6. Joe Washington, good defensive play. He's upended. Tina Turner was there. And there will be no gain. And Theismann now has a pressure down. Seconds ticking away. 7:50, the clock is moving. It'll be third down and 9.
Well, that Tina Turner's like a cat, boy. He saw that play coming right away and got in there before the guard can trap him. Pinched it down.
And the overall scheme of thing, they should call him Pee Wee. Tina Turner is only 219 pounds. Monk is in motion. The blitz is on. Theismann, receiver wide open, and he gets it to Virgil C., and C will have the first down inside the 35-yard line, right in front of Dwight Hicks, who with the blitz was in man-to-man coverage.
1 out of 11 in that third and long situation. C gets back. He gets Hicks turned a little bit. Slows it up. Hicks is protected, of course, with that touchdown throw. Got him a first down.
C, fourth-year man out of Troy State. Good receiver. He just has a hard time getting into the lineup with Charlie Brown and Art Monk and Alvin Garrett. First down and 10. Theismann with plenty of time to pull this one out is incomplete. Two different football teams we watched tonight, and they're both wearing Redskin uniforms. The first half, they were lifeless, listless. They could do nothing offensively or defensively, trailing 27-3 at halftime, and they have battled back here in the second half. And it isn't that the 49ers have rolled over, because they haven't.
Well, it may have something to do with the full moon, Don.
Could have.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
the Wolfman, two different people, two different.
They get the hog on full moon night.
Theismann statistics are more than respectable now. Dismal at halftime. Second and 10. Theismann, Art Monk. Short of the first down is Art Monk. Just outside the 25-yard line. Mario Clark defensively there for San Francisco.
Here come the big guys in for the short yardage situation, and the biggest of the big guys, of course, is 44.
I think, if I'm mistaken, Riggins outweighs all the 49er linebackers.
Yeah. Well, he can play for another 10 years if he has to just come in and score inside the 5 or get these first downs for him, because I've never seen a guy do it as consistently well as he has.
Third and 1. They'll have 2 downs, I'm sure, in their thinking to get it to the first down. Riggins. Need a couple of downs. He fumbles it out of bounds. Washington retains possession, but they now have a fourth down and about 4.
Ronnie Lott.
They must have had the Super Bowl on their minds when he broke a play like that, because I'm surprised they didn't just go straight ahead. He's almost impossible to stop when they run straight ahead, and they look like they tried to pop him outside to get a little more than 1 yard. This is the play he ran against Miami in the Super Bowl that he broke for a long touchdown, and once again, he carried the ball way out there. That was a little surprising.
Ronnie Lott was not in the Super Bowl that particular year. It's fourth down and 4. That means Joe Washington replaces Riggins. We get the third wide receiver. Alvin Garrett joins Art Monk and Virgil C.
And put it all on the line.
The blitz is on. Monk has the first down. And he'll get more. Inside the 15-yard line, Dwight Hicks riding Monk to the surface.
It's got to be one of his better nights, if not his best night in his career, because Art Monk's been all over the place out there. 167 yards.
In numbers of catches, in yardage, career highs for Art Monk.
See, I have an intuitive feel about things like that.
6:02, and the clock continues to move.
Some people do, you know.
Monk in motion. Heisman in trouble. And scrambles out of trouble, but he'll lose a couple of yards. Chased out of bounds by Milt McCall. Heisman trying to get into the end zone. He was looking for Virgil C. He was well covered. It'll be second down and about 11.
He accomplished one thing. As you can see, Pee Wee, Dwayne Boyd, 76, has to chase him so far. He's exhausted, and he just walked off the field. So their best lineman is now standing on the sideline, the 49ers.
It was good hustle by McCall, though, wasn't it?
Joe Theismann at halftime was 9 of 16, 78 yards. He's 22 of 38 now, 286 yards and a touchdown. They have marked it at the 16, so it's in effect second down and 12. Theismann drills it into the turf, intended for Alvin Garrett. Mario Clark was there defensively in good position for the 49ers. It'll be third down and 12. Clock stops with 5:35. I mentioned the next Sunday, Washington will be back home at RFK Stadium, where they know nothing but sellouts. They'll play the Giants, a team that had them up against the wall in the final game of the regular season last year, unable to put points on the board, but they intercepted Theismann 4 times in that game.
That's the New York Giants.
And the 49ers will stay home. They'll entertain the New Orleans Saints.
The Giants that are leading the NFC East.
Garrett in motion. Theismann is back. Beautiful shot, but C did not handle it. I don't think it was deflected.
Yeah, I think Ronnie got it. Ronnie got a hand on it, I think, Frank.
If he did, he got a pinky on it.
He just got a pinky, but it might have been enough. Let's see.
Let's see.
That's Lott pursuing.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. He sure did.
Ronnie Lott really is not known as a pass defender. He's a good one, but he plays cornerback like, what'd you say in the Pro Bowl? He plays cornerback like he's playing offense.
Plus, he led this team. How many teams are led in tackles by a cornerback?
Ronnie Lott makes a great play for the 49ers. 5:30 remaining in the game, and the Redskins use one of their 3 timeouts.
You've seen it on television, now see it in person. Vector, Goodyear's all-new, all-season radio. Vector with the unique crisscross tread for better traction and long, long mileage. Up to 25% more mileage than our high-mileage Arriva. We've got your size, we've got your price, we've got your Vector. Goodyear's most technically advanced all-season radio. So come on in, say hello to Vector.
Goodyear tires and our good service for more Goodyears in your car.
Go Goodyear.
AT&T is in music. How? With our people. People who can show record companies how to use our AT&T long-distance network to fill orders electronically from distributors all over the country. So the music never stops.
You got me dancing, dancing, dancing.
The people of AT&T Communications. We're thinking about your business in ways you never thought of.
That's the story from Candlestick Park. The Redskins have battled back, but they are now faced with a 4th down and 12. Charlie Brown has been missing from the past few offensive sets of the Washington Redskins, and he came into the game. OJ and I were both looking at him, and he kept grabbing the back of his left leg, so he might have a slight pull. But he's in there on 4th and 12 in the play that could make the difference in this football game. 37-24. The 49ers over the Redskins. 5:30 remaining, and the Redskins down to 2 timeouts.
And a must touchdown here, or at least first down.
Charlie Brown is even limping up at the top of your screen. He will, I'm positive, not going to be the prime receiver. Theismann. And there is a flag down. Garrett made a diving attempt for it. The flag is down.
They're going to call it on Garrett, looks like.
Well,
interference.
Don't point that way.
And I think it's offense.
Yeah.
Garrett was tied up with Dwight Hicks. That'll be declined, and the 49ers will get the ball back. Now this is Alvin Garrett working against Dwight Hicks.
Garrett could have been open a moment ago. Just pushed him into the inside. Yeah, I guess that was. But he slipped down a moment ago when he was open, and Joe had thrown to the outside, and Garrett couldn't get to it.
It didn't appear as if he had to push him because it looked as if Dwight Hicks was running inside. At least he had his back to him.
49ers now will think ball control. They might have started thinking it a little earlier, or maybe too early. They have 5:24 on the clock, and they have a 13-point lead. From their own 16-yard line.
I bet they give the ball to Roger Craig.
This is Craig. And he bounces off Redskins. First one was Dexter Manley.
The 49ers have done a good job over the last 2 years improving their running game. They were last in the NFL 2 years ago, and last year they improved it up to 8th in all of football. So they have the ability to run the ball and control it here.
I think you saw Manley grab his leg. He started limping to the sidelines, and he just collapsed on the way over there.
I think it's Darryl Grant, isn't it, Frank?
Is it Darryl Grant?
Yes, Darryl Grant.
It is Darryl Grant, and that, of course, really hurts the Redskins. He's played a whale of a game tonight. They bring in Perry Brooks. Yes, Darryl Grant goes to the sidelines. Grabbed his right leg.
Probably has a cramp.
Second down and 8. That's the time remaining in the game. Roger Craig. Craig stops the clock. He was looking for first down yardage. He comes up short by about 3. Yeah. He stops the clock at 4:39.
Well, it's too early to worry about not running out of bounds. They need a couple of first downs here, but once again, that illustrates what I was saying about Craig earlier. He is really deceptive. He has the overtime. I mean, that overdrive speed when he needs it.
That was Darryl Grant. They were obviously massaging his calf, and I think O.J. was right. He probably picked up a cramp. Third down and 3. Here comes the blitz for the Redskins. The 49ers will sack Montana. It's their second of the game, second of the season. Now, Mel Kaufman there.
I bet he says something to Freddie Solomon because he was looking for Freddie to hook up. Freddie was either covered or thought he can get more yardage out of it. Let's see. See, he goes right to Freddie Solomon now, and the two of them were talking to one another.
You know, you go back to a moment ago when Roger Craig went out of bounds trying to get first down yardage. He stopped the clock and perhaps preserved about a full minute for the Redskins. As we look at Mike Nelms, he's right at midfield waiting for the kick of Tom Orris. And they'll take it right down to the 1 second or 2 seconds on that clock before Orris will indicate that he wants a snap. They take it down to 4 seconds. Mike Nelms. Good coverage with the 49ers. And the Redskins will have the ball back near the 44-yard line. They need a quick one.
Well, Nelms wasn't too impressed by Orris's ability to punt because the way he lined up, he was expecting a 30-yard punt, and it was about a 30-yard punt.
He has scouted him well.
Actually, it's 31-yard punt.
3:59 remaining in the game.
Got to score quick.
Virgil C. Alvin Garrett, Art Monk, wide receivers. Charlie Brown was limping the last time we watched him. He was grabbing the back of his leg. He could have a muscle pull. Theismann looking for all of it. That's Art Monk.
He got a lot of it.
And he gets it to the 12-yard line, right in stride. Theismann hits Art Monk. And the Redskins are not out of this yet.
That was a pretty throw. Maybe
thrown
thrown
much better.
Yeah, that was just nice. Art's very close to the sideline. Maybe
on Ronnie Lott.
Yeah.
Ronnie Lott, who made a great play in the end zone. That time, watched Monk get behind him, and again, Ronnie Lott playing with a very sore ankle.
When is the last time a receiver has caught passes for over 200 yards. Must have been a while. Not even Duper.
First down and 10.
Uh-oh.
Heisman fires a shot. Did he take it in? Yes, touchdown. Virgil C. holds on, inbounds. And this game is all of a sudden taking on a dramatic turn. Art Monk, one of the great offensive weapons for the Redskins. And now it's Virgil C.
I don't know if it was Dwight Hicks, but someone who was guarding Virgil C. fell down. And as you can see, C is all by himself.
I see that. I see C's by himself.
I showed you Art Monk's yardage a moment ago. The record for a Redskin is held by Bobby Mitchell. Personnel man now with the Washington Redskins. He had 218 yards. We watch Mark Mosley drill it through the uprights, and now 6 points separate the two teams. They were separated by 24 at halftime, with the 49ers on top 27-3.
Okay,
Here's
C goes inside, he comes outside, and they fall. I can't see the number, but his defender fell. Keena Turner doesn't even know he's there. He's not aware that he's behind him, otherwise he would have turned around and ran with him. And C makes a very nice grab out of it.
Well thrown ball by Joe Theismann, who had rolled a little bit to the right, found C perfectly. And the 49ers have gathered on the sidelines with their special team. They know the problem that they are confronted with. They need to run off the 3 minutes and 44 seconds that remain.
All right, they wouldn't try an onside kick, would they, at 3:44? You got to go ahead and kick it on down there and hold them again. They've been doing a good job this last time.
They have 2 timeouts. You got to kick it away.
Yeah.
And then they have the kind of a defense that majors in takeaways. They led the NFL in the takeaway giveaway ratio by plus 43 last year.
49ers seem to think they're going to try an onside kick because they got all their players up front.
They got them up there, but I don't think they'll get it.
I wouldn't either.
Plenty of time.
McLemore is back. He has a long way to go to get to the wedge.
Oh, yeah.
With all of those men for the 49ers up around the 40-yard line, McLemore was doing that on his own. He gets back only to about the 14-yard line. 49ers now. They have to run some time off that clock.
Well, you give it to Craig.
And give credit to these Redskins. They were down 27-3.
300.
Out of it offensively and defensively in the first half, and they have battled back.
I truly think, knowing Bill Walsh and being around him often in the last few years, I don't think he's going to play the clock. He's going to play the score now, and if he gives it up and Washington scores, I think he feels he may have enough time to get the ball back again. So I think they're thinking about scoring points at this point.
The last 2 series, and I mentioned they may have started preserving time a little early. They have put it on the ground. Tyler, that time you saw Tyler covering the ball up with both hands.
And by doing that,
he didn't run,
a pretty good shot.
He says, hold it.
That is not his style of running.
No. It's hard to protect yourself when you're protecting that ball.
And if I think he would probably, in the long run, decide to protect himself before he protects that ball.
Yeah. Second down and 8. The Redskins, they're good at it. The first man there will make sure of the tackle, and the next 1 or 2 Redskins will follow, reaching and grabbing and hitting for the ball. That's Tyler in motion. And here's Craig. Craig out over the 20-yard line, short of the first down by about 3, hit by Charlie Mann and Dexter Manley. Clock continues to run. And now we have the timeout indicated. The Redskins stop it with 2:42 remaining. They have 1 timeout and, of course, the 2-minute warning to work with.
Well, they only get 1 timeout. I'm going to try this one again, Don. It's 68 points here.
That's really good,
A lot
OJ.
of points for 2 teams who played in the championship game.
That is right.
Remember last time I tried that in Green Bay?
I know, but
the boys haven't let me forget it.
Well, this man would love another shot at it, Joe Theismann. Next Sunday for Washington, I mentioned this to Giants. For the 49ers, this New Orleans. We'll see the Redskins twice more, November the 5th at RFK Stadium in Washington against Atlanta, and we'll watch them against Minnesota November the 29th. We'll see the 49ers also twice. In 4 weeks, we'll see them against the Giants at the Meadowlands, and then on December the 14th against the Los Angeles Rams.
I tell you, if the 49ers don't get the first down, they'll wish they had that Roby kid from Miami, or Ray Guy from the Raiders, or someone here that can punt the ball, because Orris has not been doing a pretty good job of kicking the ball tonight.
The reason they have Orris, because he kicked for Miami until Reggie Roby showed up. 3rd down and 3.
There he is, right there.
Wide open. Dwight Clark, first down. And out over the 30-yard line to the 33-yard line. A good night for Dwight Clark, coming back from ligament surgery following the '83 season.
Good shot there, coming back. All right, he's got a little pressure, but Dwight comes in as a little delayed pattern. Good target, big target, 5 yards. They do have a lot of different kinds of pass patterns. You'll see them run plays that you don't see a lot of other teams run.
I tell you, historically, every time they need a big 3rd down play, they go to Dwight Clark, and I think I'd have had a guy playing Dwight man, even though they had a zone. I think I'd have paid particular attention to Dwight Clark on that.
Redskins use their final timeout. They have nothing but the 2-minute warning with which to work now, and 2:31 remains on the clock.
And there's no surprise that Wendell Tyler is coming out of the game.
Crowd still here. They have gone up and down like a yo-yo tonight.
Oh, 518 yards against a 2-time Super Bowl team.
Well, when you consider they gave up, Washington did 397 yards last week against Miami, they better go back to the drawing board. Craig. He handles the ball very securely, and he could be the man they'll use to run out the clock.
Okay. Pay attention.
I'm on you.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited.
I'm ready. I can do it next.
Not next year, no.
We head to the 2-minute warning, and that's the last time that the Redskins will get the benefit of the stop.
Buy my computer.
Hey, buy my computer.
No, buy my computer.
There's one way to cut through today's computer clutter. Compare other business computers with Radio Shack's Tandy TRS-80 Model 2000. Judge the ease of operation, speed, graphics, software, and price. Compare. I believe your informed buying decision will be the Tandy 2000 personal computer.
See it during September at $300 off. We invite comparison.
Hello, Fred. We've had a few changes in the design.
Changes?
Well, now visualize, if you will, the main I-beam is now vertical.
Vertical?
And the center post is horizontal.
Horizontal?
Well, Fred, how's it look?
I don't know about this, Bill.
Next time, send it Zap Mail. We can get a copy of drawings, graphics, whatever, coast to coast in just 2 hours. Federal Express introduces Zap Mail. It's absolutely, positively incredible.
The crowd is still here. Now, slowly, some of them starting to file out. 49ers have 2 minutes on the clock. They have a 2nd down and 5. The Redskins have no more timeouts. Roger Craig over the left side, and the Redskins will be pawing and pulling at that football. And that could stimulate some beats out there.
Well, that will be a costly penalty to the Redskins, and it appears it's going to be on the Redskins. It gives the 49ers a 1st down.
Personal foul, Redskins, another 1st down for the 49ers, and they can pretty well run it out as this man, who had a tough first half, came back showing the all-pro qualities that this man has lived with all of his life.
Float of the head, 72 defense, 1st down.
That's Dexter Manley. But the Redskins, they know what they're about, where they're about. They also know that no team has ever gone to the Super Bowl having dropped their first 2 games. But the Redskins are the kind of a team that goes on streaks. They've had so many winning streaks since Joe Gibbs arrived there.
Frank, I can't help but believe that the team that we saw in the 2nd half will be the Redskin team we'll see the rest of this season.
First half tonight will get their attention. Roger Craig.
Craig doesn't like this because anytime they run the same play 3 times in a row, you say, hey, coach, come on, give me a break. They're running a little counter play, the play that Pittsburgh has run so many times with Franco Harris. Guy lined up behind the quarterback, takes a step and runs to the left side.
Tell you what you do have to think about if you're in a Redskins uniform or in the administration is that they have given up almost 1,000 yards in 2 football games.
And we get to see one of those teams they gave it up to next week, the Miami Dolphins. Super duper. Dan Marino. I'm going to have a lot of fun.
From tonight, that'll be up in Buffalo. Next Sunday night, we have Cleveland and Denver. The 2nd down and 11. Montana squats.
Oh, Dexter.
Clock keeps moving. And they can run it out. And the 49ers will get some measure of revenge for a loss in the NFC Championship game. A game they felt they should have won. They felt that 2 penalties late in the game cost them the opportunity. They lost it 24-21 when Mosley split the uprights with 40 seconds remaining. But this man, Joe Montana, in that game, in the 4th quarter, threw 3 touchdowns to tie it up at 21. This will be the final play. And Rich Malott, for whatever reason, reaches across and shoves a 49er. That'll be an offside penalty.
I think he did it to prove you wrong, Frank. It's not the final play.
Yeah, I think it is.
They haven't run it yet.
Yeah, that's it.
Defense. This is a foul in the last 30 seconds by the defense. They've had their 3 timeouts. The offense can choose to end the game. The game is over.
Yeah, he was right.
I knew that Dick Jorgensen would vindicate me.
That's right.
And it sounded like the Gettysburg Address, but he got it out.
4 score.
Bill Walsh. The 49ers are now 2-0. Last week, a 30-27 win over Detroit, and tonight they defeat the Washington Redskins 37-31. We'll be back with a final word in just a moment.